What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
5WR. Chapter 101 Proposal Rejected, Lin An vs Kaido. Advertise here. Chapter 101 Proposal Rejected, Lin An vs Kaido. It has always been Lin An's creed to live without forgetting one's roots. This is not to say how noble Lin An is, but that once he forgets his roots, he can only pursue his interests with all his strength, and then slowly, only himself is left with no friends at all. Having no friends means that there is no one to share happiness with, no place to confide in sadness, and everything has to be borne by oneself. Such a life is really boring even if it is invincible. It just so happens that you and Dad used to be partners on a ship. The combination of the Beast's Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates is not something incomprehensible. Speaking of which, Lin An thought for a while. It will be very interesting to bring Big Mom in and reorganize the former Rocks pirate. Interesting. That's for pirates. The 997 pirates at the beginning were just pirates, and they didn't have the sphere of influence of New World to force the world government to cooperate with pirates. Today's Rocks pirate Big Three, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, the three control a quarter of New World's sphere of influence. The energy under his command should not be underestimated. If the three emperors really join forces. For Marine. No, it should be said that it is a suffocating thing for the entire world government. Damn, what's going on in this little bastard's head? On the boat, listening to Lin An's words, cold sweat broke out on Sengoku's face. Even if he is very clear that the three-party alliance must be based on Whitebeard, neither Kaido nor Ant can be inferior, which means that the possibility of this method is not high. However, just thinking about the three of the New World four emperors joining forces, he felt terrified. That can be said to be a superpower that can truly fight against the hard steel of the world government. The Revolutionary Army is only capable of resisting the world government, and is regarded as public enemy number one by the world government, not to mention the alliance of the three emperors in four emperors. Calm down. Garp on the other end was very flat. This kid is stimulating Kaido in order to make Kaido angry and gain a certain amount of advantage in subsequent battles. Have you been scolded by five elders for being stupid, old fellow? Why are you so suspicious of such a simple move? Of course I know. Sengoku echoed Garp. The seriousness on his face didn't disappear. Momosuke. Yes. Momosuke immediately stepped forward. Notify Marine to intensify penetration into New World. They don't need to inquire about other news, they just need to closely monitor the cooperative relationship between the four emperors. Understood. Momosuke immediately went back to deliver the order. Are the four emperors joining forces? Compare the nervousness and paranoia on the Marine side. There was a surprised expression on the Ant's face. She is the weakest among the four emperors. The resistance to teaming up with others is not high. Even, vaguely nostalgic for the time on the Rocks pirate ship. It's a good choice. The world government will definitely try its best to prevent someone from going to Roger's treasure. She doesn't know what is hidden on the final island, but it is definitely not gold and silver treasures, otherwise the world government would not be so serious. Money is something like the more the better. But for the world government, a huge organization that can collect taxes from all over the world. Roger's gold and silver treasures were nothing. What really makes the world government feel dangerous is mainly Roger's appeal, and the secret left by Roger hidden on the final island. If only the four emperors could join forces. I have no objection. But, the Ant took a bite of the cake with a satisfied look on her face. Focusing on Lin An, you don't seem to be able to convince Kaido's stubborn old man. On board the Red Hair Pirates. Shanks frowned slightly. The suggestion made by Lin An undoubtedly excluded him. Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom are all crew members on the Rocks pirate ship. And he is the enemy of Rocks pirate, the crew of One Piece Roger. If there is such a day. Think for a while. Shanks spoke again. I'll be the first to run away from New World. Boy, good idea. Kaido looked at Lin An in front of him, and he praised Lin An's idea. But it's not hard to see from his lack of interest expression that he doesn't intend to really team up with Lin An. After all, being able to be the boss, and also the boss of one of the top forces in the world. How could he be subservient to others? However, I'm going to be the boss, and Whitebeard and Big Mom are going to give me pawn. If you meet this point, then I promise to play around with you, how about it? So there's nothing to talk about. Lin An looked indifferent. It never occurred to him that Kaido would agree. The reason why he said this is the same as what Garp said, mainly because he wanted to stimulate Kaido and see if Kaido can fall into this trick. It now appears that Kaido is not affected at all. This is also understandable. After all, they belong to the strongest group of existences in the world. How could they fall into such a simple aggressive method? Dual power supremacy. The energy of shock fruit was condensed by Lin An. Focusing on Kaido's body, he asked again, fight. Certainly. Kaido looked at Lin An with tyranny in his eyes. He is angry. The reason for the anger is that Lin An, a junior, really dared to intervene in the boss battle. This is to tell him that the Whitebeard Pirates can deal with him without Whitebeard. Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki were mobilized as much as possible by Kaido at this moment. Be careful. During the conversation, Kaido's whole body thunder spread all over his body. Vaguely, the clear sky seemed to feel Kaido's anger, and gradually dark clouds appeared. Thunder also emanated from the dark clouds, echoing the thunder on Kaido's body. This moment, Kaido seems to be transformed into a god. The god who controls thunder. Step forward. 2.7. A powerful thunder burst out from Kaido's body. The power of the thunder was completely concentrated on the mace on the right hand and swung directly towards Lin An. The sound of thunder crackled at this moment. Exploding mines as thick as buckets spread all over the island. The breathtaking momentum, just accidentally approaching the nearby seabirds will be stunned and fall to the surface of the water. The underwater sea kings also turned white and floated to the sea, carrying the energy and courage that crush the world's principles. Kaido has come to Lin An. The mace in his hand showed no mercy. Thunder 8 trigrams. Chapter 102 Lin An's full power. Advertise here. Chapter 102 Lin An's full power. Arrogant and invincible, this is everything Kaido shows. Lin An here is not bad at all. The awakening of shock fruit has given Lin An the ability to resonate. At this moment, he is not only using the shock fruit's ability, but also absorbing the vibrations from the island below, and even the sea. A series of shocks were absorbed by him. Cracks spread across his hands. For a moment, a tsunami roared from behind Lin An. Lin An's feet collapsed inch by inch, shattered. It's like destroying the whole world. Junjun, destroy the world. Lin An hit with his right fist. Endless cracks spread to the surroundings in an instant. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament Haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament Haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up. Close black lens bracket. Bang. There was a muffled sound. Lin An's right fist collided directly with Kaido's mace. At this moment, the whole world 24 seemed to be completely divided into two worlds. Half of it is thunder, and the other half is the spread of cracks. The whole world seemed a little desolate at this moment. Boom, boom. A series of loud noises that seemed to shatter the world spread to the surroundings. At this moment, the whole world seems to be completely focused on Lin An and Kaido. Even, the Beasts Pirates and Whitebeard Pirates who were fighting tacitly stopped their fighting at this time, unconsciously watching the battle between Lin An and Kaido. This almost catastrophic scene directly shocked everyone around. Is this really a power that humans can use? Is this really the power that humans can possess? Everyone watched the battle between Lin An and Kaido, and they didn't know what to say. Even the person who made the Devil Fruit military map stopped for a short while. This Lin An is a little too strong, right? This also gave the masters such as Margao and Josie some time to relax. Looking in the direction of Lin An, Margao also showed a shocked expression on his face. This guy, feeling stronger again. Crocodile looked at Lin An and frowned slightly. Jinbei on the side also showed an expression of disbelief. The total population of all races in this world exceeds tens of billions. It's not out of the question that there are some hidden masters. Jinbei, as a veteran of Zhonghu, has naturally been psychologically prepared. However, a person of Lin An's age and strength still shocked him. Boom. There was a muffled sound. Thunder's bombardment and shock fruit's energy collide. The island under Kaido and Lin An's feet began to shatter. Gradually, there were signs of going silent into the sea. It's just the power of Lin An and Kaido's one move. Come again. Lin An's eyes burst out with endless fighting intent. I didn't pay attention to the islands that gradually collapsed, broke, and even returned to the sea. Lin An directly used moonwalk to fly into the air. Good. Kaido also lost his temper at this time. He didn't expect that his all-out attack was only a tie with Lin An. This record, it's only happened with someone as strong as Roger and Whitebeard. The energy of the dragon form lifted Kaido's body. Endless thunder bloomed all over his body again. For a while, there is a meaning that runs through the world. At this moment, Kaido is standing in midair. Countless thunderbolts surrounded his body in the sky, making him even more as if the god of thunder came into the world. Lin An on the other side is not bad at all. The surrounding vibration cracks spread across half of the sky. Numerous dense cracks that spread like spider webs reflect Lin An like a god who came through from the otherworld. Thunder wield the mace in his hand again. Kaido's face showed seriousness. The thunder, armament Haki, and conqueror's Haki around the body gathered towards the mace in their hands desperately. After gathering the power, Kaido waved the mace in Lin An's direction again. Quote. Lin An raised his right fist again. Under the blessing of fruit awakening, Lin An pulled out all the vibrations around him. For a while, the howling wind disappeared. The tsunami caused by the destruction of the island by Lin An and Kaido gradually disappeared. For a while, the whole sea seemed to be completely calm at this moment. There was a look of thought on his face. Lin An swung his right fist in Kaido's direction. 8 trigrams. Destroy the world. Lin An's right fist and Kaido's mace collided quickly. Boom. It was like a thunderbolt. It's like a nuclear weapon explosion at the level of destruction. The position of Lin An and Kaido as the center is directly lifted at this moment. The huge force even directly acts on 100 meters below the sea level. The foundation of the original island was directly destroyed at this time. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of stamina. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up. Close black lens bracket. Another attribute of Countless Taos was absorbed by Lin An. Lin An felt that his strength was growing crazily. Originally, Lin An was going to be weaker than Kaido, after these 2 fights. This gap, which was not too much, was directly smoothed out. The attributes generated when fighting Kaido are far superior to others in terms of quality and quantity. This discovery, it made Lin An ecstatic. Come again. The figures intertwine. Lin An and Kaido separated. Lin An's eyes were shining brightly, looking at Kaido like a hunter looking at prey. Come on, I'm afraid you won't make it. Kaido felt uncomfortable in Lin An's sight. But, his anger was also blown out. Stepping slightly, Duo came directly in front of Lin An. Lin An's strength is strong enough. It is impossible to beat an opponent of this level with only a powerful trick. Then, we should use continuous attacks to talk about Lin An's suppression. Only in this way can we hope to defeat Lin An. Kaido is hooked. On the marine boat, Sengoku looked at the direction where Lin An and Kaido were fighting, with surprise in his eyes. Lin An's idea is too simple. That is to use yourself to hold Kaido. This will boost the morale of the Whitebeard Pirates. Originally, Kaido shouldn't have too much relief with Lin An. Even in a fight, Lin An should attack and Kaido should defend. But now Kaido is completely controlled by Lin An. It looks like Kaido is challenging Lin An. Chapter 103 Kaido's Wrath. Advertise here. Chapter 103 Kaido's Wrath. That's right. Kaido for a quick win. In the battle with Lin An, he has always been the one who takes the initiative to attack. Although it is said that Lin An is weaker and has some forced defensive counterattacks. But in the eyes of outsiders, this is Kaido challenging Lin An. Now, it's interesting. After thinking for a moment, Sengoku looked at Lin An and Kaido with a smile on his face. Kaido has been tricked. Big Mom Pirates. Ant looked in the direction of Kaido and Lin An, with an expression of disbelief in her eyes. What are you doing? Mom doesn't understand either. Obviously Lin An forcibly intervened in the boss battle between Kaido and Whitebeard. Now it looks as if Kaido is taking the initiative to trouble Lin An. Red Hair Pirates. Shanks and Mihawk were even more speechless, without saying a word. Maybe, Lin An can win this time. At this time. Mihawk spoke suddenly. If you don't open your mouth, you will be shocked. Once you open your mouth, you will be amazed. Shanks looked in Mihawk's direction with a puzzled face. Why did you say that? Although Kaido is stronger, he is too impatient. Mihawk didn't make any concealment, and just said shit about what he said. Judging from the current performance, Kaido is better than Lin An, but the gap is not that big. Since this is the case, the aspect of strength is no longer too important. Mentality and external factors will be the key to the outcome of this match. Come to fight. Feeling Kaido's urgency, Lin An is also a little inexplicable. He also saw the odds here. Xing Shan, 8 directions Han sword. Open your mouth calmly. The ability of sparkling fruit is activated. A sword was pulled out of Lin An's hand. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Bang. Sword and mace collided together. The battle between Lin An and Kaido has reached a stalemate here. You little guy W. Kaido frowned slightly. There was a little anger on his face. My heart was extremely shocked. It's not that he doesn't know how to calm down as much as possible in a battle with a strong person of the same level. However, Lin An's strength really shocked him. Suicide, countless times. During this period, he met many people who could force him to use his full strength. But it never occurred to him that a young man in his 20s could make him work so hard. Die. The thunder and lightning receded at this moment. Flames surrounded Kaido's body. Come again. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Lin An picked up the attributes comfortably. His hands didn't stop. Slashing, stabbing and other long sword attack methods fluttered in Lin An's hands. Endless collided with Kaido. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Fire dragon torch rising dragon flame 8 trigrams. This moment. Kaido's body gradually condensed to flame dragon. Conqueror's haki was used by him in ultimate. While waving a mace in his hand, the fire dragon flew out of his body, directly killing Lin An. Shaking, shattering, Lin An is also not to be outdone. Shock Fruit's energy condensed around his body, and finally gathered on the long sword. Cracks filled the entire long sword. Under waving, it even directly cut off the dragon head that Kaido transformed with flames. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a piece of Conqueror's haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. The two sides met in midair. Just the dissipated power can directly blast the sea surface. A random thunder or flame can change the ocean. The cracks formed by true energy can set off monstrous waves. This moment, everyone has truly seen the power of the world's highest level of strength. Impossible. Kaido ran away. Looking at Lin An in front of him, he was directly angry. For one thing, Lin An is only in his 20s, and he, one of the legends of the previous era, even fought back and forth with a younger generation. How can such a thing not make him angry? Second, Whitebeard has found such an heir. When the Whitebeard Pirates recover in the future, is there any other way for him to survive? Under the superposition of several ideas, the grumpiness and anger that were only intentional at first gradually became real. With a mace in his hand, Kaido was really confused at this moment. David Thunder 8 trigrams. The flames on his body disappeared instantly. Thunder surged into his body again. However, this time Kaido's attack did not attract the thunder in the sky. Like a quieter and lessened version of Thunder 8 trigrams. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This is the purest Thunder 8 trigrams, or it is not an exaggeration to say that it is an advanced version of Thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido focuses this move by compressing the power of thunder within his entire body. The intensity is even higher than the normal version of Thunder 8 trigrams. Such a strong coercion. Lin An looked at Kaido now. Although the momentum is not as good as Thunder 8 trigrams. But the aura and danger on his body are far more than just now. A solemn look appeared in front of his eyes. In Shock Fruit's awakened state, the resonance form is activated. At this moment, Lin An's body integrated all the surrounding vibrations into his body as much as possible. As if peeling off the cocoon, the vibrating energy was gathered on the tip of the long sword. United technology. Electromagnetic shock. Light, a manifestation of electromagnetic force releasing energy. And electromagnetism is the existence that can be settled to the atomic level. When Lin An got the sparkling fruit, he thought about how to make the most of it. It is impossible to really regard it as a rush tool, right? Therefore, there is the current trick. Let the electromagnetism cause vibration. In order to stimulate the explosion between electromagnetism. Make it, well done, have both the penetrating attack of the laser and the area damage of the shock. This is the joint technology electromagnetic shock of sparkling fruit and shock fruit. Unfortunately, at first Lin An didn't achieve it. The reason is that Lin An's understanding of shock fruit is not thorough. It cannot vibrate the most primitive existence of the world such as photons and atoms. The awakening of shock fruit can be regarded as a complete solution to Lin An's difficulties. Resonance. It is the solution that makes this trick from impossible to practical. Follow Lin An's name of the trick. A beam of laser light spread from Lin An's Bafang Han sword. Vaguely, you can even see some jagged shapes on the light. Bang. Kaido's mace collided with Lin An's Bafang Hanjian. Chapter 104 The Focus of the World. Does Lin An have no limit? Advertise here. Chapter 104 The Focus of the World. Does Lin An have no limits? The tricks of the two sides collided instantly. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up an armament haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a piece of stamina. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. In an instant, more than a dozen attributes entered the body. At this point, the two seemed to be at a stalemate. But Lin An smiled slightly. Kaido, I want this victory. Lin An's words like a declaration of victory directly aroused the doubts of all the onlookers around. The two now look like siblings. Kaido also had the upper hand. How can Lin An be so confident? Everyone is puzzled. It even includes 4 emperors and Marines Sengoku, Garp. But, the plot of face slapping will come in the next second. I saw the Bafang Han sword in Lin An's hand suddenly exploded directly. Countless light spots scattered in this moment. He even sent Kaido flying out. Look at this scene. Sengoku stood up straight from the chair. The eyes are a little protruding. The whole person showed an expression of how is it possible. That's right. Garp on the side also had a dignified face. 143, this is Shock Fruit's Fruit Awakening, Resonance State. Moreover, he even integrated it and sparkling fruit into it. The power is not only superimposed, it is simply magnified 100 times. Garp looked in the direction where Lin An and Kaido were fighting. There was also an expression of disbelief in his eyes. This guy, don't tell me there is no limit. How much strength does he still hide? Garp is also the one who fought Lin An, although it is said to release water and lose. But he also thinks he understands Lin An's true strength. Although Lin An is strong, they even reached the strength realm of their older generation. But it is not impossible for him to beat Lin An. But after seeing the fight between Lin An and Kaido, Garp thought he might have to change his mind. Perhaps, are you no longer Lin An's opponent? It's kind of ridiculous. A sigh of emotion came from Garp's mouth. Looking at Lin An's figure, the whole person showed an expression of disbelief. This strength is only possessed by a young man in his 20s. If you give him another 10 or 20 years, how far can he grow? Impossible. Ant looked at Lin An's moves and spit out the cake up to her mouth. Shock Fruit Awakening. This is ridiculous. The power of Shock Fruit is undeniable. This is a super weak devil fruit that can cause tsunamis and earthquakes. But the stronger the ability of devil fruit, the more difficult it is to awaken it. There are countless capable users who have obtained Shock Fruit in the entire sea. But the only person who can really awaken Shock Fruit is Whitebeard. The source of Lin An's Shock Fruit is still unclear. Already made Devil Fruit Awakening. This matter is simply unimaginable. The ant slowly sat back on the chair. Her face was cloudy and uncertain, and no one knew what she was thinking right now. Hi, it's a little troublesome. Red Hair Pirates. Shanks scratched his head. The whole person showed bad intentions. He wasn't worried about what would happen to him if Lin An was too strong. Although as 4 emperors, but Shanks doesn't care much about the so-called majesty and power. Lin An if too aggressive, then he just left New World. There is no so-called 4 emperors dignity and idle baggage at all. His eyes moved to the side. Shanks looked at Mihawk at the side. Did you guys know that Lin An Shock Fruit has awakened? Otherwise, how could you have just concluded that? Without, Mihawk outright denies it. He only made an analysis based on the situation at the time. As for the awakening of Lin An's Shock Fruit, it is even said that they were fighting CEAG with the Beast's pirates, and then they were awakened by Enlightening Ace. How could Mihawk know? I just had that intuition. Intuition, muttered. Shanks was even more speechless. So, those of you who are completely obsessed with martial arts are really terrible. This monster-like horror perception is really hard for people to understand. Dover, Kaido seems to have a chance of losing. Doflamingo's Don Quixote family on board. A man who looked slightly disgusted moved over to Doflamingo's side. No problem. Doflamingo lifted his glass and took a sip of his wine. It can be seen from this war. The battle between the 4 emperors is impossible to achieve the elimination of each other. Kaido may lose or win, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that Beast's pirates will definitely be there after this one. Besides, our goal has been achieved, hasn't it? Listen to Doflamingo. The rest of the Don Quixote family showed a clear look. Indeed, the power of the artificial Devil Fruit Legion is really eye-catching. If Lin An hadn't taken the initiative to intervene in the boss battle, not even a battle between Kaido and Whitebeard has as much appeal as an army of faux Devil Fruit. After all, although Kaido and Whitebeard are strong, they are the 4 tombs of the older generation. Everyone has psychological expectations. Moreover, that level of strength is not something ordinary people can achieve. But the artificial Devil Fruit Legion is different. They can be built with money. Presumably, we will be busy next time. Doflamingo pulled a trademark smile on his face. Even with sunglasses hiding it, it was still hard to hide the joy in his heart. How come? Kaido stabilized his figure in midair. At this time, Kaido and Lin An's feet have completely become a piece of sea. The huge island that couldn't be seen at a glance just now has completely sunk into the ocean, and under the uncanny workmanship of nature, the sea surface has become calm. It was as if the island had never appeared before. Looking at Lin An, Kaido doesn't understand why Lin An is so strong. The electromagnetic shock just now directly penetrated his armament Haki's armor and directly acted on him. The pain made Kaido even a little flustered. Even Kaido was shocked by such a powerful move. Looking at Lin An, Kaido asked with some doubts, awakening of Shock Fruit. That's right, Lin An didn't hide either. If you want to hide this level of tricks, you are undoubtedly deceiving yourself. After all, other people are not fools either. Are you afraid? Chapter 105 Kaido's Final Hole Card. Advertise here. Chapter 105 Kaido's Final Hole Card. Afraid. Listening to Lin An's words, Kaido seemed to hear the funniest joke in the world. The warrior's stomach rolled in midair. After the pain stimulated Kaido's nerves, Kaido has completely put Lin An on the same level as the opponent at this moment. Rather than a junior. I admit, you are a junior who gives me a little headache. But, you have just stepped into this level of power. As for me, I have been immersed in it for decades. Accompanied by Kaido's voice spread around. His body actually changed again at this time. A black and purple aura surrounded Kaido's body. Gradually, it seemed as if an armor was built on his body. Armament Haki full coverage. Seeing Kaido like this, Lin An also frowned. And it's still winding armor. Lin An accurately stated Kaido's preparations. At the same time, he didn't understand in his heart. Now that Kaido knows that his shock fruit has awakened. So why do such useless work? However, my resonance can directly resonate with your armament haki, thus affecting your body. Your move may be an excellent defense for others, and even has the anti-injury ability of some thorn armor. But for me, it's just a trick that consumes energy but has no effect. Since do not understand, now is the time to think. So it's better to ask directly. See Kaido's answer. Ha ha ha. Kaido couldn't stop laughing. He is called the strongest creature in the world. Roger didn't take much advantage of him. Only the battle with Whitebeard is more lost than lost. The main reason is because Whitebeard's resonance can ignore his defense. But, resonated more times, his body also has immunity and resistance. This is what he relies on. Whitebeard resonance might give me a headache for a while. But how can your newly awakened resonance ability penetrate my defense? Talking. Kaido explodes directly. That's right, it exploded. The armament haki wrapping armor originally attached to Kaido's body was about 3 centimeters away from the body. This is the trick that Kaido specially practiced and prepared to deal with Whitebeard. To put it bluntly, vibration still needs a medium, even if it is resonance. As long as it can block the vibration outside the body. Then even if it is the resonance that can ignore the defense. It is also useless. Good guy. Seeing Kaido's preparations, Lin An also took a deep breath. However, he didn't take it seriously. If he only has shock fruit, if the fruit has just awakened to the resonance state, it will indeed be blocked by Kaido's move. But he doesn't just have shock fruit. And sparkling fruit. There was a smile in his eyes. Lin An pointed to Kaido with both hands at this moment. Bafang Han swords formed around Lin An's body. Combination skills, Zhonzhong. Read out following Lin An's tricks. Hundreds of 8-direction Han swords made of light pierced around Lin An's body. This long sword contains a considerable amount of shock fruit energy. Under the influence of resonance. The Bafang Han sword, which was originally grand in size, seemed to be a bit defective at this time. Only, it was the slightly defective appearance that made Kaido's complexion a little dignified. Bring it on. Open your mouth calmly. Kaido held the mace in both hands. The 3rd generation hyphenation point Yin Naraku. Read out the name of the move. Kaido held a mace and swung it at Lin An directly. This moment, Kaido's surroundings are full of strong winds, as if they are going to blow everything in the world away. The flames reach the sky, as if the fire from the sky erupts and burns up everything in the world repeatedly. Thunder roared everywhere, as if the god of thunder was going berserk, trying to destroy everything in the world. Thunder, fire, wind, observation haki, armament haki, and even conqueror's haki are used by Kaido. At this moment, Kaido went all out. All available abilities were completely released by Kaido at this moment. Well done. See here. Lin An also had a hint of surprise in his eyes. With a wave, the hundreds of Bafang Han swords made of light gathered directly in Lin An's hands. These long swords were directly condensed into one in Lin An's hands. Under the control of Lin An, the original flaws of the long sword seemed to disappear. Electromagnetic shock, destroy, shout out with Lin An's tricks. Lin An also rushed towards Kaido. Ask for flowers. Bang, boom, a huge, heavenly sound rang out. For a while, with Lin An and Kaido as the center of the circle, it seems that the infinite power has directly set off a wave of 10,000 meters. In the upper half of Lin An and Kaido, the clouds disappeared directly, revealing the original blue of the sky. The seawater on the ground below was directly rolled back under the action of the two people's strength, even revealing the scene of the seabed. This huge move, whose influence almost reached the entire ocean, directly overturned the nearest ships around. Also, this is an undetected attack. Whether it is the ship of the Beast's pirates, the ship of the Whitebeard Pirates or the spectators, the ships of the forces are more or less affected. As a last resort, everyone started to sail away. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. 0.0. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament haki perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation haki experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's Haki perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of stamina, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy, close black lens bracket. The battle between Lin An and Kaido reached its peak and climax. For a while, Lin An began to absorb the attributes dropped from Kaido almost endlessly. After 3 seconds of stalemate, Kaido lost thousands of attributes. Sharp. Look at Kaido. Lin An spoke in admiration. After all, he is a junior, and he doesn't have any psychological burden to praise his opponent. Damn it. As for Kaido, it's a completely different story. Even with a junior, I even had to accept Lin An's approving eyes. This has reached the level of insult to him. Thunder 8 trigrams. Take advantage of this opportunity. Kaido has since pressed hard. Squeeze out the last strength in the body. Final choice. It is still the most familiar trick. Have you tried your best at the end? Feel the power of Kaido. Lin An took a deep breath. It also began to squeeze the energy of the shock fruit and sparkling fruit that remained in his body. Combination technique. Electromagnetic oscillation. Chapter 106 Kaido defeated. Beasts Pirates retreat. Chapter 106 Kaido defeated. Beasts Pirates retreat. The sparkling fruit's laser is released by Lin An. Then use the resonance of shock fruit to crush it. Lin An directly used his strongest strength so far at this moment. Countless light spots that cannot be seen clearly with a microscope instantly penetrated Kaido's defense and directly penetrated Kaido's body. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Lin An continued to pick up the attributes dropped from Kaido. There is endless murderous intent in his eyes. 4 emperors. The strongest creature in the world. A wanton smile appeared on Lin An's face. That's not invincible either. Boom. Following Lin An's voice fell. The light spot has penetrated Kaido's body. How come? Kaido looked in the direction of Lin An with a puzzled look on his face. At this time, his body was no longer under his control, and he fell towards the sea below. In this situation, everyone was dumbfounded. The people of the Beasts Pirates in particular are unbelievable. The invincible governor in their minds, an invincible existence, Kaido, the world's strongest creature, was defeated. Not good. At this time, Jin, who was thought to be dead in battle, appeared from the side. Lin An's tricks would indeed kill ordinary people, but Jin is different. Jin is a remnant of the Lunalia tribe, and his physical fitness is much higher than that of ordinary people. Lin An's attack didn't kill him, it just knocked him unconscious. Looking at Kaido's fallen body, his eyes were full of solemnity. Retreat. Retreat quickly. Kaido's defeat means the Beasts Pirates have lost. It's hard for Jin to imagine what kind of devastating blow Lin An and Whitebeard will bring to the Beasts Pirates by using shock fruit to join the frantic slaughter on the battlefield. While commanding the Beasts Pirates to flee quickly, Jin himself turned into a pterosaur and directly caught Kaido's body. It doesn't matter whether other people are dead or alive. He took Kaido directly and flew in the direction of Wano Kuni. In such a situation, and wanted to kill the grass directly. However, the story is not over yet. There was a surge in the chest. A smear of blood overflowed from the mouth. Although he defeated Kaido, he didn't take much advantage. He was also injured by Kaido's tricks. Now he can only watch Jin take Kaido away. Margao on the side has obviously noticed Lin An's physical condition. Immediately turned into a phoenix and flew to Lin An's side, hugged Lin An and flew towards the Moby Dick. Brother. Awesome. It seems to be congratulating Lin An, but in fact it is escorting Lin An to a safe place. Instructor. At this time, someone in the Whitebeard Pirates yelled. Immediately afterwards, the sound of mountains and tsunami resounded through the sky. Instructor. 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 Lin An defeated Kaido. The whole world is boiling. Seeing the fleeing Beasts Pirates, Tien immediately ordered to hunt them down. Report. The war is over. The Beasts Pirates fled back to Wano Kuni. Because of Wano Kuni's special geographical location and entry method, the Whitebeard Pirates were blocked from Wano Kuni and had no choice but to give up. Soon, someone counted the battle reports. I killed and injured more than 13,000 people and destroyed 127 ships. Whitebeard Pirates suffered about 43,000 casualties, and 365 ships were destroyed. Win. Big win. Even a big victory that can be recorded in the annals of history. Quote. Inside Battle Marine's boat, Sengoku watched the calm sea now return. The rocky island has long since disappeared. Young and promising. Sengoku's vocabulary is not the best in the world, but it is almost the same. But even he thought for a long time and still couldn't find the words that could perfectly describe Lin An. Defeating the 4 emperors, and Kaido, who is the second strongest among the 4 emperors, is almost impossible for a young man in his 20s to succeed. Didn't expect. Kaido wide. Garp on the side also had a serious face. Kaido may not be considered the peak of strength of their older generation of powerhouses. But he is definitely the person with the strongest comprehensive ability in the world. The combination of offense and defense, speed and strength are also top-notch. But, such a person is still defeated. And it was a clean defeat. Sengoku looked at Lin An, he was about to retreat. However, he did not show off, and intends to make a final effort for Marine during his tenure. This kid needs to be taken care of. And, Marine's internal training system may not be enough to cope with the changes in New World's strong players. Listen to Sengoku. Garp on the side was taken aback. Looking at Sengoku with a slightly disbelieving expression. I said, Sengoku, what do you mean? That's right, that's what you want. Sengoku nodded at Garp. There was a trace of determination in his eyes. World conscription. After the failure of Summit War, Marine's training system was broken down, and Marine's elite was not enough. If you continue to recover slowly, it will take at least 10 years for Marine to return to its heyday. But, can the changes in New World give Marine another 10 years? And even if Marine returns to its heyday, will it be able to defeat the current New World? The results make sense. And it's unquestionable. Marine didn't even win a single Whitebeard Pirates, and still lured them to naval headquarters. And Marine's goal is the entire New World, and it's nothing but wishful thinking to win against the four emperors teaming up. The world is full of wonders, and there are definitely many people who think that justice is dangerous. Even if their character is good or bad, as long as they are kind-hearted and genuinely bring peace to the world, that's enough. Looking at Sengoku, Temple was silent this time. He is well aware of how determined such a decision is for Sengoku. This old friend has already been sorry once in 3.1. All he can do now is to silently guard him. This guy Kaido actually lost. Big Mom Pirates on board. Surprise was written all over Auntie's face. There are just too many things going on at this stage. It even directly affected her diet. Vaguely, I can even feel that my aunt has blogged a bit. There is no doubt about it. Katakuri frowned and looked in the direction of the Moby Dick. His eyes stayed on Lin An for a long time, unwilling to move. In this new world, why did such a strong decision suddenly appear? Mom, I think we have to change our strategy against the enemy. Chapter 107 Offer a reward of 4 billion, 5 Emperors Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 107 offers a reward of 4 billion, 5 Emperors Lin An. Katakuri's status in the Big Mom Pirates is equivalent to Jin's in the Beast's Pirates, and now Lin An is in the Whitebeard Pirates. The highest position other than captain. Even Big Mom has to listen carefully to Katakuri's words. Oh, Big Mom looked at Katakuri with confusion in her eyes. Katakuri was her perfect child. It is also her happiest child. At this time, there will be a dignified and bewildered expression. And it's definitely not just Lin An who is stronger than him. Katakuri, tell me what you think. My thoughts. Katakuri muttered. His eyes were still on Lin An's body. If I had to make a decision, it would be to either stay away from New World, or build a good relationship with the Whitebeard Pirates. As a last resort, if you really listen to Lin An, joining the Whitebeard Pirates is not an impossible option. Ah, this. Katakuri's words stunned everyone else on the Big Mom Pirates ship. Is this still their strong and reliable brother? Why does 24 feel like a coward? Mihawk. Red hair pirates aboard. Shanks looked at Mihawk. It's over, the situation in New World will definitely change. Is your island short of people? I'll take my brothers to join you. Mihawk glanced at Shanks. Not the slightest hint. Speechless was written all over his face. This time, Shanks didn't reject the question. I'm short of farmland. Bring your own tools if you want to come. The war between the Beast's Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates is over. The outcome of the war ended with Whitebeard's victory. Whitebeard also took advantage of this opportunity to seize more than a dozen islands that originally belonged to the Beast's Pirates. Even, there is an island with oil on it. The energy of the ship has been directly supplemented by a large amount. In the sea, the speed of information dissemination is very fast. News of the Whitebeard Pirates' victory over the Beast's Pirates spread throughout the world almost immediately after the war ended. After a few days of fermentation, the Whitebeard Pirates soon became popular all over the world again. Isn't it, the Whitebeard Pirates again? Didn't they just finish the Summit War? Why are they fighting with people again? Is this the so-called Whitebeard with half of the lowest buried in the soil? Is this also the one with the best breakthrough among the four emperors? As the news of the Whitebeard Pirates' victory over the Beast's Pirates gradually ferments, the doubts about the world government's decision that had just subsided sounded again. No one expected such an unexpected thing. It is quite a headache for the world government. How can it be? Just at this time, a bounty order appeared in the report about Whitebeard's return of bandits. A face that looked a bit cold was clearly drawn on it. This guy is Lin An. If it's true, he's pretty handsome. Several people gathered together. Start discussing Lin An's new reward order. Wrong. The focus is wrong. Quickly. The first person to speak reminded everyone with a reward order. Look here. The man's finger pointed in the direction of Lin An's reward order. 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, like, 4 billion Baileys. A few people counted the numbers, and the whole person was not well. So high. This is already a bounty at the four emperors level. I know what you're trying to say. That's right, the world government has already regarded Lin An as the fifth emperor of the New World. Look at the headline on this page. The birth of the fifth emperor of the New World, pirate instructor Lin An. After reading the news, everyone was silent. Not only did they not feel fear in their eyes, they even vaguely felt excited inside. Emperor of the Sea. What a domineering title. The title of Lin An becoming the fifth emperor of the sea soon spread all over the world. Naturally, the Whitebeard pirate ship is also included. Lin An, you guys are capable. Whitebeard pirate ship, on the main ship Moby Dick. Ace ran to Lin An's side with the newspaper and Lin An's reward order. This four emperors war is not just a change in Lin An's bounty. Others have increased more or less as well. Especially Ace's. He has grown from the original 550 million Baileys to 1.1 billion Baileys, which has doubled. But, compared with Lin An's skyrocketing to 4 billion Baileys, it is still nothing. It's in the papers. You can now take Papa's place as captain of the Whitebeard pirate ship. If you listen to the reports from the enemy's side, then your good legs can make the other side limp. Lin An took Ace's newspaper and threw it into the sea without even looking at it. Don't even think about it. This is completely the enemy's strategy. The purpose is to let others know my strength, and at the same time see if I can draw out my ambition. If you can really persuade me to rebel, you can directly split the Whitebeard Pirates, and Marine can make a lot of money by splitting the Whitebeard Pirates without a single soldier. Even if you can't talk about me, you can still discuss us. Listening to Lin An's words, Ace thought for a while and nodded. That's really disgusting. This level of information warfare can only be said that 370 is the foundation of the foundation. However, in this way, it can be regarded as completely eliminating the previous bad impression of the world government's discredit on the Whitebeard Pirates. This can be considered a good thing. Sabayati Archipelago, temporary naval headquarters. Sengoku looked at the crowd below. That's what I mean, do you have any other opinions? World conscription. Recruit all people with good intentions and sincere intentions to make the world a better place. This proposal came from the deepest part of Sengoku, which is unbelievable anyway. I agree. This time, Garp, who has always been reticent to comment, was the first to agree at this time. Those who can participate in meetings of this level are the absolute core of Marine. In addition to the older generation of management, there are Marine Admirals, Admiral Alternates, and lastly, Elite Vice Admirals. I agree. Aokiji looked around and raised his hand to agree with this topic. With the approval of both Garp and Aokiji. Quickly. Someone else expressed his opinion. Either agree or deny. There were also some abstentions. Chapter 108 World Conscription. Advertise here. Chapter 108 World Conscription. The disapproval and disapproval votes are very different. The majority of votes in favor. People from the Sengoku faction or other factions in Marine have seen the lack of Marine strength through the Summit War. And because of the Summit War, the Marine elite was consumed a lot. Today's Marine urgently needs to expand its own strength. World conscription is the best solution. Since everyone agrees, it's settled. Quickly. This is how the world conscription plan was finalized. Big news. And it is still the kind of big news that breaks the sky, which is rare in 100 years. Have you heard? Marine is recruiting troops all over the world, and this time the conditions are much looser than before. I heard it. On an island, several strong men on the island got together. This Marine conscription can be said to be the most relaxed one in history. Even things like smoking and drinking can be ignored. Just need to have order, be able to do things, and have justice in your heart. This is simply talking to the powerful people all over the world. As long as you don't break the law and can do things for the Marine, then you can join the army. In this way, Marine strength can be rapidly improved in a short period of time, but how to solve the order? Strong people have personalities. If they have the authority of Marine, who knows what they will do come on. If not, we will create a group of soldiers. Isn't there no way to do this? The changes in the new world have left Marine no time to take care of them. They can only give up the internal order of Marine and make up for the lack of strength first. As soon as the news of the world conscription came out, the whole world was boiling. The Whitebeard Pirates. Lin An looked at the newspaper with a look of thought on his face. It seems that Marine is still in a hurry. Ace beside him shrugged. Looking at Lin An's expression also became a little weird. Don't you look at who forced them to be like this. Lin An made a big fuss about impel down. Rewrite Summit War on your own. He also played a decisive role in the Four Emperors Battle of the Whitebeard Pirates Battle Beasts Pirates. The rise of Lin An is the source of Marine's current anxiety. No. To this. Lin An denies it. Personal strength comes from strength. But Marine didn't need to go to such lengths to kill himself. Marine's world conscription is all about paving the way for the next step. As for what their next step is, naturally, it is to control the new world. The dispute between Marines and pirates has existed since humans possessed navigation technology. After countless years of contention and war, Marine controls all the sites in the world except New World. And New World has become a paradise for pirates. Whether it is out of consideration for himself or the people of the world, it is impossible for Marine to let the pirates continue to be so arrogant. The new world must have order. And it is not the order of pirates, which uses violence to control violence, but an order with laws and rules. Thinking of this, Lin An's eyes showed a hint of thought. In this way, the sea power can indeed be greatly increased. However, this will also make Marine's interior uncontrollable. Perhaps, this is also an opportunity. Wanokuni. Kaido has recovered by this time. He has accepted his loss to Lin An. Looking at the newspaper, there was an expression of disbelief on his face. The world's big conscription. Sengoku, is he crazy? Don't want Marine anymore. Conscription, or the boarding of pirates needs to be assessed. After all, people who don't fit in are either weak and bullied. Either it is strong and then rewrites the original rules. This kind of thing is absolutely not allowed for a huge force. There was a doubt on Kaido's face. Could it be? At this time, Kaido also discovered the seriousness of the matter. Indeed, if the formal process is followed, these newly joined Marines that have not been strictly reviewed will become time bombs one after another. But what if they went straight to the battlefield? The strong ones will be converted directly into success. New World. Is it true that there is no retreat for us pirates at all? IWC. Ant looked at the newspaper. It is different from the doubt and seriousness of the Whitebeard Pirates and Beasts Pirates. Auntie acted unusually relaxed. If you want New World, then let's see if you have the ability. For Ant, she is not the strongest in New World. The sky fell and there was a tall one to hold it up. Now the New World has the Whitebeard Pirates as the real kings. At that time, she will follow behind the Whitebeard Pirates and do her best. If she loses, she can't help it. If she wins, she can continue to be her own 4 emperors. Red Hair Pirates aboard. At this time Mahawk has left. Beckman looked neither happy nor sad while smoking his cigar. How to solve it? Do you really go to Mahawk to farm? Of course it's impossible. Shanks put down his newspaper. If this is true, then the title of Shichibukai will obviously be stripped as well. After all, Wuhai was established to reassure the pirates. Now that Marine is planning to attack New World, the stronghold of pirates, there is no need to save face for pirates. Shichibukai's number will naturally be withdrawn. We can only take one step at a time. For a while. As the news of the Marine world conscription spreads, the whole world is caught up in the discussion. Smart people understand what Marine is going to do this time. That is to completely wipe out the scourge of pirates. At the very least, the new world where pirates can gather must be completely dismantled, so that order can return to Marine's hands. This move by Marine has directly stimulated more than 300 countries and regions in the world. Germa 66, the gangster emperor, Nuali's country and other powerful countries in the world have more or less exchanges and even cooperation with pirates from all over the world, and they are also affected. But, the world's major conscription is a huge project, and it cannot be completed every 1 or 2 years. All they have to do is to think about how to solve their own problems before the end of the world conscription, or before Marine takes action against New World and pirates. Okay, the last job of my tenure is done. The next topic is the selection of the new marshal. Pass on the world conscription. This is a big event that takes time to digest. It was also the last important decision during Sengoku's reign. Sengoku looked around, and finally his eyes fell on Aokiji. Quality. Chapter 109 Selection of Marshal Marine, Kizaru withdraws. Advertise here. Chapter 109 Marine Marshal Selection, Kizaru withdraws. My recommendation is Aokiji. The failure of Summit War. No, it should be said that it was a fiasco that Sengoku has been blamed by Mariajoy. Coupled with the 5 Elders' Order, Sengoku is no longer qualified to stay in the position of Marine Marshal. If it wasn't for the battle between the Whitebeard Pirates and the 4 Emperors of the Beasts Pirates. This topic is long overdue. Although Sengoku is still Marine Marshal now, he is only a famous temporary marshal. Aokiji can't. Soon. Sengoku's proposal was denied by the rival faction. World conscription is imperative. If you want Marine to enter the New World, or even completely destroy the great power of pirates, it is not enough to rely on Marine's current strength, which makes the various factions within Marine unite together. But it is changed to the selection of the Marine Marshal. Obviously there will be no such unity among Marines. Aokiji's character is too lazy, and you also know what our Marine is going to do next. Do you really think that such a leader can complete the task of liquidating New World? There are reasons for this statement. And it conveyed its own information and ideas entirely based on facts. I suggest Akainu. Akainu has a strong and moderate style of work. Under Marine's next big goal of 790, he is the most suitable candidate. Akainu's demeanor is swift and decisive. He even resorted to unscrupulous means to achieve his goal, and he was indeed the most suitable candidate for the goal of Marine's big decision, which was to destroy the New World Pirate 4 Emperors. No, Akainu can't. But, objections were soon raised. Akainu's acting style is enough, but he was defeated several times in the Summit War, and he has lost a lot of prestige. If he is allowed to lead the entire Marine, I am afraid that the Marine will become a topic of ridicule in the world. The man had just spoken his words. It has been recognized by countless people. If it was before Summit War started, there must be many people supporting Akainu. After all, Akainu is sincerely working for Marine, and it is most suitable for the current Marine plan. But, Summit War Akainu didn't even shine a bit, and even lost face several times. If Akainu were to be the Marine Marshal, he would definitely be ridiculed by many people. In this case, not to mention breaking through the super large pirate group of New World 4 Emperors, it would even cause chaos within itself. Or, let Kizaru do it CEBB. At this time, the centrist spoke. Aokiji was too lazy, Yugo lost a lot of face and couldn't convince the crowd. Then among the 3 admirals, only Kizaru is left. Etc. Before anyone else started discussing the possibilities. Kizaru directly raised his hands in a gesture of surrender. I withdrew from the Marine Marshal selection. For Kizaru. He didn't really want to participate in such a power struggle. Do you think that someone like me is suitable to be a Marine Marshal? As soon as Kizaru's words came out, Everyone was silent. Kizaru's general character is that you can say whatever you want as long as you don't get affected, and you won't easily offend others. Such a person is completely the master of peace and mud. Make him a Marine Marshal. And he is the Marine Marshal who is going to fight against the New World next. It really doesn't work. Since Kizaru withdraws automatically, I will choose between Akainu and Aokiji. At this time, Crane spoke. As an older generation powerhouse of Marine, Crane's identity and status are still very high. And Kizaru is indeed not suitable to be a Marine Marshal. No one is going to discuss this topic anymore. Or Aokiji. Soon. Then someone gave his own answer. Akainu is indeed more suitable. But Akainu's performance during the Summit War was too hip. In contrast, Aokiji said nothing. But at least the tsunami was stopped. Although this level is not considered an achievement in the eyes of a master. But in the eyes of ordinary people and those ordinary Marines, it is a divine skill. Able to give them a sense of security. Military reputation. It is definitely better to eat than Akainu. No. Aokiji's proposal was quickly rejected. Again, Aokiji is too lazy. If Marine is to maintain the status quo, I will consider voting for Aokiji, but Marine's next action is to conquer the New World. His personality is not acceptable. Akainu is more suitable. Aokiji is more in line with Marine. Akainu. Quote. For a while, in the Marine temporary headquarters, these people who are at the top of the world's power are arguing crazily like ants in the vegetable market. Of course, it is reasonable for the public to say that the public is right, and it is reasonable for the mother-in-law to say that the mother-in-law is right. No one can convince the other. Leave some neutrals and abstentions aside. Naval headquarters split directly into two factions. Aokiji and Akainu are supported separately. Overall, Aokiji received 60% support, while Akainu received only 40%. Okay, now the winner has been decided. Seeing the winning percentage, Sengoku breathed a sigh of relief. Indeed, in the grand strategy for New World, Akainu is more suitable. However, Marine will not always be at this stage. Since most people support Aokiji as the new Marine Marshal, the new Marine Marshal will be. Wait a minute, just when Sengoku was about to announce Aokiji as the new Marine Marshal. Akainu stood up. Since both I and Aokiji have a chance. Then you might as well speak with strength. Everyone was shocked when they heard Akainu's words. Is this a fight between admirals? They knew that Akainu was radical, but they didn't expect Akainu to be so radical. For a while, they didn't know what to say. Akainu slightly frowned. Sengoku looked at Akainu slightly critically. I know you are not convinced, but this is everyone's decision. Your task is to obey orders. If you are still the Marine Marshal, I will naturally obey. Akainu is still playing tough. Looking at Sengoku, the garden dog looked indifferent, but you are no longer the Marine Marshal. Listening to Akainu's words, Sengoku said dissatisfiedly, I will be the Marine Marshal until the new Marine Marshal takes office. That's just an acting marshal, and doesn't have all the functions of the Marine Marshal. Otherwise, why would you share and discuss the matter of Marshal Marine? After Akainu finished speaking, he ignored Sengoku and turned his attention to Aokiji. Aokiji, either you quit directly, or fight me. Now there are only two options for you. Chapter 110 The New Marshal, Akainu. Aokiji. Advertise here. Chapter 110 The New Marshal, Akainu. Aokiji. Seeing Akainu like this, Aokiji frowned slightly. He is not optimistic about Akainu's style of work. Akainu is not like an upright Marine, but somewhat similar to an unscrupulous power minister. Akainu, don't do this, I know you are not reconciled, but this is the result of everyone's election. So, are you afraid? Looking at Aokiji, Yuntian is still aggressive. If you are afraid, then just quit and give me the position of Marshal. Being provoked again and again, even ordinary people will get angry, let alone a generation of naval, Admiral. Since you insist on calling, don't regret it. Crazy. The Whitebeard Pirates and Margot were completely taken aback by the news. Aokiji and Akainu are going to fight. The entire Whitebeard Pirate group also looked completely incomprehensible at this time. However, Marine has entered the New World. The Marine who acted in the punk hazard that was once abandoned by Marine can also prove all this. It's another world conscription, and another fight for the position of Marshal. Whitebeard frowned at the contents of the message. These are large-scale actions enough to affect the entire world. It seems that Marine really wants to destroy New World. Having said that, Whitebeard looked at Lin An's position. Lin An, what do you think? If you want me to say. Lin An thought for a while. There may not be any good way to react now. At least until the battle of the Marshal of the Marines is over. The news spread that Aokiji and Akainu were going to fight for the position of Marine Marshal. After all, the battle between two top logias cannot be hidden even if one wants to hide it. Marine didn't try to hide at all. For a while, Big Mom, Kaido, Shanks, Blackbeard, Germa 66 all responded. Including Whitebeard. At this time, everyone had the same tone, although they were in all directions, but their eyes were all looking in the direction of Punk Hazard. It seems that Marine is about to change its dynasty. New World. Punk Hazard. This is an uninhabited island, and it used to be a marine base and an experimental base for man-made devil fruit in Vegapunk. It's just because the Marine's power in New World can't be used, and Vegapunk insists that the experiment of man-made devil fruit failed, so it was abandoned. Exactly. It became the battleground of Aokiji and Akainu. In the center of Punk Hazard Island, Akainu and Aokiji are facing each other. Akainu spoke first. Aokiji, you are not my opponent. The strength of the three admirals is almost the same. It's just that there is still a slight gap in order to determine the winner. Akainu is confident that he is definitely better than Aokiji. In terms of fruit energy, my lava can reach at least 1,000 degrees Celsius, and your ice is a complete joke to me. In terms of hockey, my armament hockey and observation hockey are also the highest and strongest among the three admirals. What do you compare with me? Looking at the confident, even aggressive Akainu in front of him. Aokiji is much calmer. If you could really beat me, I'd be out of Marine a long time ago. Akainu and Aokiji have different philosophies. Although they are both Zephyr's disciples, they are completely at odds with each other. It's not that the two sides haven't tried to understand each other. But the result is clear. Hehe, you can only talk big words, but things won't make any progress. Aokiji's words are not powerful, but the power of ridicule is directly full. Akainu didn't appear too impatient about this. It is precisely because he is too familiar with Aokiji that he dares to conclude that he is stronger than Aokiji. At the same time, I also understand that being strong can't be too strong. Once it is mentally or otherwise imaged, then the possibility of losing is not completely impossible. Aokiji, how about we make a bet? At this time, Akainu's aggressive tone suddenly stopped. He looked in Aokiji's direction provocatively. You say. Aokiji frowned slightly. He didn't understand what Akainu was going to do. That is, Akainu had a triumphant look on his face. If anyone loses, how about leaving Marine directly? Leaving Marine, that is to say, give up the status and rights gained through hard work, and directly become a loner. Aokiji looked at Akainu in disbelief. He couldn't understand Akainu's brain circuit at all. Both sides are the world's top combat power. Asking for flowers. If used properly, it will definitely become the best left and right hand. But, Akainu insists on creating an absolute dilemma where you are here and I am not. Close your eyes and calm down the fluctuations in your heart a little. When he opened his eyes again, Aokiji had completely calmed down. Okay. I won, you resign and leave, and you are not allowed to appear in Marine again. You won, I resigned and left, and I will do what I just said. Ha ha ha, Akainu nodded in satisfaction. As expected of you, my best and most annoying colleague and rival. The outskirts of Punk Hazard Island. The sea area has been surrounded by more than 300 Marine warships. On the battleships are the elite Marines. Point 0. At this time, they are patrolling dignifiedly and nervously. Hurry up, you must ensure that no outsiders exist within a radius of 300 nautical miles. Everyone, be vigilant. The battle between admirals will last for a long time. You must keep in mind your own posts. In order to maintain your spirit, don't stand on guard for others. Do you understand me? The entire Punk Kazakh is surrounded by Marine warships. In order to make the battle between Aokiji and Akainu fair and not interfered by external forces, Sengoku used 300 Marine warships and 50,000 Marine elites. This can be said to be the entire family property of naval headquarters. These two bastards. Crane stands on the bow of a battleship looking into Punk Hazard's interior. Beside and behind her are Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, as well as the older and younger Marine executives. They are all here to witness the battle between Aokiji and Akainu. After all, in the past, the selection of Marine marshals was done by voting. What happened this time was really too special. Sengoku was dismissed to take charge of Marine, and this led to the current dispute between Aokiji and Akainu. Marine is already weak enough, but the two of them still have internal friction. Crane is very dissatisfied with Akainu. Marine was already troubled, and suffered a big defeat in the Summit War. It was supposed to recuperate, but it fell into the quagmire of the Civil War. Chapter 111 or, come join in the fun. Chapter 111 either, let's join in the fun. Fair enough. Compared to Crane's complaints and Garp's indifference, Sengoku thought more. In this way, Marine can also be completely unified. Sengoku is well aware of what will happen inside Marine when he leaves. If it can be said that the redundant factions can be stopped at this time, it can be regarded as an effect. As for the loss of at least one admiral, it is also within a reasonable and acceptable range. My departure will definitely cause conflicts within the Marine. The battle between Akainu and Aokiji can be regarded as a battle in the Marine. It will let them see how strong the marshal who will lead them in the future will be. Although it won't have any good effects for those high-level officials, it can at least deter the Marine divisions in various places. Crane glanced at Sengoku. She doesn't know why Sengoku is so 220, easygoing now. You know, back then Sengoku would directly raise his fists to fight legendary pirates like Whitebeard and Golden Lion. The current Sengoku can't be said to be cowardly, but it's not too far behind. You old fellow, why have you become so cautious? When the words came to his lips, Suru still saved face for Sengoku. You want to say I'm cowardly? Sengoku doesn't care about this, he is already a person who is about to die, so he doesn't care about the shameful things. What he wants now is for Marine's power transition to be as smooth as possible without any mistakes. This is his last mission in Marine, it's okay. What I want now is to make the Marine power change as safe and smooth as possible. The turmoil that occurs when power changes has always been the most troublesome thing for the big forces. Not to mention Marine, a huge organization that directly spans the entire world. Once there is a gap, the consequences will be disastrous. If it is used by the Revolutionary Army again, it is very likely to bring huge disasters to the world. Looking at Akainu and Aokiji who had already entered the fighting state, Sengoku's eyes revealed a hint of determination. In any case, this change of Marine's rights must not be allowed to become a place for others to take advantage of or exploit loopholes. Moby Dick aboard. There was a hint of emotion in Lin An's eyes when he heard the news. A Marine Admiral level brawl. This is an interesting thing. At this time, Lin An was training the crew of the Whitebeard pirate ship. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. The horse stance should be done carefully and accurately, otherwise there will be no improvement no matter how much you do. At this time, there were already more people on the Moby Dick. Margau's 16 squads have all replenished their numbers. In addition to the more than 1,000 people in Lin An's 17th Division, the entire Moby Dick has more than 2,600 people. Lin An really trained the crew like an instructor. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Nowadays, the attributes pushed down by these people can only be said to be better than nothing for Lin An's improvement. But, Lin An didn't intend to give up either. After all, practicing this kind of thing is like sailing against the current, if you don't advance, you will retreat. Only by keeping yourself in a state of progress at all times can you not regress. The attribute of these Whitebeard Pirates crew members is the existence that allows Lin An to maintain his own strength and make a small improvement. And, no matter how strong one's own strength is, it is absolutely impossible to defeat the siege of tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of opponents. Cultivating the strength of other members of the Whitebeard Pirates is also enhancing their own strength. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility, close black lens bracket. Well, keep it so serious, you know. Lin An is happy to teach. The members of the Whitebeard Pirates also study hard. After all, this is the personal guidance of a super strong character who can defeat Kaido. You don't need to spend money, you just need to listen to the instructions carefully. Anyone who wants to become stronger will definitely miss this kind of situation. Instructor, is this the right thing to do? Instructor, come and see me. Lin An, an outsider, seems to be the same as the four emperors. No, the terrifying man known as the fifth emperor of the sea is like a lovely and amiable patriarch on the Whitebeard Pirates. Not bad. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. You can't do this, you must be careful in the direction of your feet and squat, you understand. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Yes, you can learn from him, this is a very standard horse stance. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of intelligence, close black lens bracket. Morning training is over. Everyone went to eat and rest. Lin An leaned against the mast and fell into deep thought. At this time, in less than 2 months, the Sunbeard Pirates fought 2 wars in succession. Whether it's the Perilous Summit War or the Perilous Battle of the Four Emperors. Lin An has benefited greatly from this. Now Lin An's strength has surpassed most people in this world. While I was full myself, I also suffered from the people of the Whitebeard Pirates. Except for the 16 captains, Whitebeard and himself, the whole ship used to have a total of 1,600 people. Now I can still look a little familiar, but only 200 or 300 are left. Basically all those who could name them died in the war. Those are also good brothers who get along well. You're still here. At this time, Margao flew back from the outside, and saw Lin An's figure with a surprised expression on his face. Looking at Margao, Lin An also showed doubts. Where am I not here? Punk Hazard in Admiral, of course. Margaret's answer is very succinct. Marine's defense has ended for the past 2 days, and the battle with Aokiji will begin in 3 days at most. You who like to join in the fun don't go to see it. Do I like to join in the fun? I do not know how. Lin An looked at Margao strangely. Of course you like to join in the fun. As if aware of Lin An's doubts, Margao said with a serious face, look, when you first got on the boat, you were 3.7. The examples Margao gave are very simple and straightforward. Margao, Josie, and the masters on board Lin An almost never fell behind. But, that's because I'm picking up the attributes you dropped, not because I like to join in the fun. Lin An protested silently in her heart. However, he didn't intend to make any explanation. After all, he doesn't intend to tell even the brothers of the Whitebeard Pirates about cheats. Punk Hazard comes to mind at this point. A battle between Marine Admirals. There was a look of anticipation in Lin An's eyes. It seems really interesting. Chapter 112 Mixing in Punk Hazard. Advertise here. Chapter 112 Mixing in Punk Hazard. You see. At this time, Margao, who was looking at Lin An, had a smile on his eyes. That look seems to be saying that I just said that you like to join in the fun, right? If you want to go, you can go there. You can't help Dad. The Beast's pirates near the Whitebeard Pirates have been beaten and disabled. Big Mom and Shanks will not attack easily. There is no security problem at home for the time being. Now Lin An is a strong man who can defeat Kaido, and Marco is not worried about the safety of Lin An going to Punk Hazard protected by Marine. Instead, such a long fight. On the contrary, Margao was worried about whether Lin An would suffer from some psychological illness due to being too depressed. Lin An thought for a moment. There was also an expression of expectation on his face. Training the 2,600 members of the Whitebeard Pirates will indeed bring good attribute benefits to Lin An because of the huge number of people. However, a day's harvest may not necessarily increase the attribute dropped by an admiral. The growth of strength gave Lin An a great sense of expectation. The most important thing is, it is indeed a very interesting thing to see the battle between Marine Admiral. Also, after responding to Margao, Lin 24 feet and couldn't help laughing. Indeed, I am also a person who is willing to join in the fun. Even without this cheat, if there is an opportunity to watch the battle between Akainu and Aokiji, he will never miss it. Then I'll go first, and I'll leave the matters on the boat to you. Just leave at ease. Margao waved at Lin An. At this time, the Whitebeard Pirates were always under the control of Lin An when Whitebeard was going to rest and recuperate, and when Marco was going to recuperate Whitebeard's body. Ace and Josie can do a good job. That's good. Lin An nodded, and he had already flown into the midair. Wait a moment. Just as Lin An was about to leave, Margao's voice came. Lin An looked at Margao suspiciously, and he threw a pointer into Lin An's hand. Punk Hazard's fixed pointer. You can't say you don't bring a map when you go out, right? Thank you. Lin An said thank you, and his figure turned into a golden light and disappeared near the Moby Dick. Punk Hazard. A small island. At this time, the periphery of the sea area has been surrounded by warships. There will be a warship patrolling almost every 5 nautical miles. The warships on the inner and outer 3 floors directly pulled the cordon to a range of 100 nautical miles from Punk Hazard. It is enough to see how much the Marines do not want the battle between Akainu and Aokiji to be seen by outsiders. Something interesting. Lin An, who was in midair, looked at Marine's defensive net, and also showed a hint of thought. Of course he can directly break through these defensive nets. Countless warship shells could indeed hurt him, but they had to be hit. His speed is now probably beyond Kizaru. It is basically impossible for Marine to catch up with Lin An. Let's go under the sea. After a little thought, Lin An directly bypassed Marine's detection range. All of a sudden got into the sea. The side effect of Devil Fruit, that is, the ability to become a landlubber, is deciphered by Lin An's cheat and will not affect Lin An. At this time, he activated the ability of Sparkling Fruit under the sea, shuttled under the sea as fast as a ray of light, and arrived at Punk Hazard's island not long after. Sea defenses are tight. There aren't many guards on top of Punk Hazard. And because Marine's focus is on the sea surface, Punk Hazard's defense and surveillance are not close, which also makes it easier for Lin An to go ashore. Hi brother. After going ashore, Lin An found a Marine who was alone. What's wrong? Yes, who are you? How do you get on? Before Marine could finish speaking, he was killed by Lin An. Put on the Marine uniform again. Lin An easily got mixed into Marine's team in Punk Hazard. Everyone gather. Not long after Lin An had mixed in, Punk Hazard's Marine whistle rang. All put into the first line defense, make sure that the battle between Akainu Admiral and Aokiji Admiral is not disturbed. What a coincidence this is not. Not long after Lin An joined Punk Hazard, the battle between Aokiji and Akainu began. At this time, Akainu and Aokiji are already on the verge of fighting. Teams of Marines entered the field from the outside, taking over the vicinity to ensure that no one could interfere with the battle between Akainu and Aokiji. For this reason, Marine did not hesitate to let several elite vice admirals from naval headquarters act as guards. Lin An's captain, in the north, is a relatively well-known ghost spider among the elite vice admirals, and even has fully learned Marine's 6 styles and even life return. The east, west, and south sides are respectively garrisoned by Flying Squirrel Vice Admiral, Huoshaoshan Vice Admiral, and Staloberry Vice Admiral, plus the troops on the sea surface and the 2 admirals of Akainu and Aokiji. No one will believe that this lineup is going to fight the 4 emperors. Aokiji, if you are sensible, just admit defeat. The position of marshal, I want to decide. Akainu looked at Aokiji in front of him, and his whole body burst out with a very high desire to fight. Akainu has been yearning for the position of Marine Marshal for a long time. This is the position where he can really show his revenge and decision-making. As long as you can become the Marine Marshal, then his expectation is very likely to become a reality. Only here, he will never allow others to hinder him. Akainu, you've gone mad. Seeing Akainu's appearance, Aokiji frowned slightly. Today's Akainu is not even a Marine, not even a normal person. He has completely become a demon called stubbornness. If it is said that the marine is handed over to you now, I will never admit it. Aokiji frowned. As a slacker, he actually doesn't expect much from the position of Marine Marshal. After all, becoming an admiral has already made people have to do a lot of things they don't want to do. If you become a marshal, things will only become more numerous. At that time, even if it is a lazy sleep, I will not be able to sleep well. Sengoku is a very good example. But, he has been highly valued by Sengoku, so Sengoku must not be disappointed. That's why he's here today. For myself, for Sengoku, and for the future of Marine. Looking at Akainu, Aokiji's expression gradually became tough. First, don't trust Marine to the current you. Hehe. Akainu looked at Aokiji in front of him and sneered. I don't feel at ease if first entrust Marine to you. Chapter 113 Aokiji vs Akainu. Advertise here. Chapter 113 Aokiji vs Akainu. Akainu refuted Aokiji with the same words as Aokiji. Just like Aokiji sees Akainu as a madman, Akainu sees Aokiji's situation as not optimistic. A lazy person becomes the supreme commander of Marine, isn't that just pushing Marine into the fire pit? How can a lazy Marine keep world peace? It's useless to talk too much. Akainu's body began to transform. The lava gradually assimilated the surrounding soil. Even the land was forced to burn under the high temperature of the lava. Really? Akainu gave a positive answer to this sentence. There was a look of seriousness in his eyes. He and Akainu have no chance of convincing each other. The only solution is to fight, the winner takes all and the loser exits. There is no second workaround. Anyway, we've come to this point, and we can't say anything without a fight. Aokiji's body also changed at this time. The endless cold air that emanates from the surroundings penetrates the entire soil. Ice crystals gradually began to spread under Aokiji's feet. For a while, the west occupied by Aokiji has become a cold world, while the east occupied by Akainu has become a scorching hell. War. X2. Akainu and Aokiji shot at the same time with a tacit understanding. The lava and ice erupted directly under the urging of the two. For a while, the sky seemed unable to withstand the changes and devastation of the two of them. It's hot and cold at this moment. If the fruit ability is developed, I'm afraid that few people in the whole world can catch up with the two of them, right? Maritime. Watch the battle between Aokiji and Akainu. Sengoku's eyes showed seriousness. There are three kinds of devil fruit. Logia, Zone and Paramesha. The easiest fruit to awaken is Zone. The human beast form has accurate goals, which is why they can be awakened so easily. Next is Paramesha, and finally Logia. The difficulty of Paramesha is that it cannot be accurately positioned on Paramesha's awakened form. As for Logia, it's even more illusory. Similar to Aokiji's ice, Akainu's lava, and Kizaru's light, how can these natural energies and substances be awakened? Of course, there are extremely heaven-defying fruits in Paramesha, and the difficulty of awakening those fruits will not be lower than that of Logia. That's right. Crane nodded aside. In terms of the degree of fruit development, Akainu and Aokiji are undoubtedly at the forefront of the world. Garp on the side didn't think so. Devil fruit is the ability of a defect. Excessive pursuit of devil fruit's power will make your body rust. To deal with them, you only need to bring a piece of seawater or seastone, and they will have to shift part of their attention to the seawater and seastone to avoid being touched and lose most of their power. Instead of doing that, it's better to exercise your own strength. If this sentence is said by others, it will definitely cause others to laugh. It is indeed so, but will the strange power possessed by devil fruit really let you touch it so easily? But this sentence is said by Garp, so no one will have any doubts. You think everyone in this world is you. As soon as Garp's words fell, Sengoku on the side spoke with a look of disdain. Besides, your words are so powerful, I don't see you gaining too much benefit from Roger or Whitebeard. Ahem. Listening to Sengoku's dismantling, Garp coughed twice in embarrassment. But those two old boys didn't get any advantage from me. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy close black lens bracket. Battlefield. Lin An followed in the footsteps of the ghost spider. Although it is impossible to pick up all the attributes that Akainu and Aokiji dropped during the battle, after all, Lin An's automatic pickup range is only 1 meter, and even the active pickup range is only about 100 meters. But, just these attributes are enough to make Lin An happy. One of these attribute balls is comparable to Lin An's growth of training 2,600 people in a day. Rock technique. Akainu and Aokiji have played against each other hundreds of times. Lava melts into ice. Frozen lava. The two of them were fighting each other, and neither of them could get what they wanted. For a moment, Akainu stepped back slightly. The right arm turns into a hellhound. Dark hound. Frozen. Seeing Akainu's appearance, Aokiji is also ready. The frozen breath on the right arm gradually condensed. A huge ice bird appeared in front of Aokiji. Storm pheasant's mouth. With the urging of Akainu and Aokiji, the ice bird and the dog of hell instantly blended in the very center of the battlefield. Boom. A huge explosion sounded. In the center of the island, a large crater visible to the naked eye appeared directly under the battle between the ice bird and the dog of hell. It's amazing. Quote. See here. Lin An's eyes also brightened. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. While actively picking up attributes. While admiring. Whether it is Aokiji or Akainu, both of them have a very high degree of fruit development. In addition, both of them are strong at the Admiral level. The strength can be described as extremely terrifying. The battle between ice cubes and lava is also wonderful. Under the competition of one move, there is no slightest defect or weakness. It is even said to be highly ornamental. Tisk. The center of the battlefield. Akainu didn't care about the pothole that was blown out. Looking at Aokiji in front of him, there was also a touch of melancholy in his eyes. It would be a pity if such a master is an opponent. If you don't have to do this, if you don't do it, you can't be a marshal. Just use him as a tool, man. Akainu is still willing to do it. You guy, good Jiao Hao, it's really hard to deal with. The same thing, I will give it to you too. Aokiji frowned. He and Akainu both belong to the Logia devil fruit. In addition, the gap between the fruit grades is not too big, or the devil fruit with completely opposite attributes. This made the battle between the two extremely stalemate. If you want to tell the winner, it will be very difficult. These two guys. Garp looked at Aokiji and Akainu with a little helplessness in his eyes. As a good friend of Zephyr, Garp also had a systematic understanding of Zephyr's disciples. These two, Akainu and Aokiji, can be regarded as one of Zephyr's most proud disciples. How great would it be if we could join forces? Light. Chapter 114 Aokiji vs Akainu 2. Chapter 114 Aokiji vs Akainu 2. Join forces. Sengoku glanced at Garp. That's simply not possible. If such a thing happened, Summit War doesn't have to happen at all. New World has long been able to enter. There is no way. The crane on the side shrugged. Water and fire are incompatible. Even if two people with completely different personalities are forced to be together, there is absolutely no possibility of joining forces. It's actually a good thing that the two of them haven't had conflicts over the years. Really, Crane's remarks can be said to have reached the point. It's good that Akainu and Aokiji didn't start a civil war within Marine. Want them to join forces. This is simply unrealistic and unrealistic. You just hope they both take care of the overall situation and don't start a Marine civil war. Now all we have to do is quietly watch their battle end. Then follow this result. This is the possibility of a smooth transition of such a big event as Marine's power change. Akainu. Aokiji. It is the end of a few strokes. A huge pothole had formed in the ground beneath the feet of Aokiji and Akainu. The diameter of this pothole even exceeds 10 kilometers. The two stood in midair. At this time, they all lost their temper. 480. Aokiji has condensed endless cold energy, and armament hockey is still attached to it. Akainu's side didn't give up too much, endless lava condensed on the fist, and armament hockey was also entangled in it. Boom. There was a loud bang. The punch of Akainu and Aokiji directly caused an earthquake. Accompanied by the shaking of the ground. Ghost Spider, Flying Squirrel, Huo Shaoshan and Stallo Berry, who were originally doing defensive work, also showed embarrassment. They are nothing. But the marine below is not enough to see. Aokiji and Akainu's level of masters compete against ordinary people, and they are not even qualified to come close to watch the battle. Even the elite marines are a little unstable under this kind of coercion. Retreat. Get out of punk hazard first. See this situation. The Ghost Spider immediately mobilized the soldiers to retreat. Flying Squirrel, Huo Shaoshan and Stallo Berry also gave similar orders. They retreated from 4 directions respectively, intending to leave this punk hazard. Akainu and Aokiji fought to this extent, unless the 4 emperors came, otherwise ordinary people would not be able to fight in Guan. Naturally, there is no need for warning. This is also the order Sengoku had thought about and issued a long time ago. Why does that soldier feel a little different? Watching the soldiers evacuate one after another, Sengoku's eyes fell on a soldier in the Ghost Spider's team. The battle between Akainu and Aokiji made the little soldiers uncomfortable just because of the coercion. Even the elite vice admirals such as Ghost Spider and Huo Shaoshan were careful and uninterrupted to see if there would be devil fruits from Akainu and Aokiji behind them when they evacuated. And that little soldier seemed not afraid of being hit at all, and followed behind the army with his head held high. Are you stupefied? Following Sengoku's gaze, Garp also looked in the direction of the Ghost Spider team. There was a smile in his eyes. This silly boy, do you really think that you are not afraid of being implicated if you are one of your own? Akainu and Aokiji are both angry, so maybe they still have the mind to take care of the marines around them. Uncertain. Garp's guess is reasonable though. However, it is not recognized by Sengoku. Such soldiers exist, but it is absolutely impossible to be recruited into the elite of naval headquarters. After thinking for a while, Sengoku picked up the phone bug and dialed the Ghost Spider's phone directly. Ghost Spider Vice Admiral, you bring your team to me. Make sure to bring everyone here. The Ghost Spider looked puzzled. Could it be that someone was sneaking around while guarding and was discovered by Sengoku? Because he had to keep an eye on Akainu and Aokiji, Ghost Spider was not aware of the situation in his team. It was also in a state of bewilderment at this time. But, he's obviously not as fresh as Akainu. Acting marshals are also marshals. Since you are your boss, Sieb, you should obey orders. Yes. Boom. Boom. Explosions sounded one after another. The burning of Akainu lava directly burned through the earth. Aokiji's ice cubes will freeze him again in the blink of an eye. For a while, ice and lava have run across the entire island. Clatter. No idea where the cracks came from. It actually brought seawater into it. The huge pothole created by the battle between Akainu and Aokiji just now turned into a lake under the infusion of seawater. How can it be? This is the case. Everyone around was dumbfounded. This can be said to have created a lake abruptly. Although it is not as shocking as Lin An and Kaido destroyed an island with one move a few days ago. But that kind of battle is already considered a battle between inhumans. The battle between Akainu and Aokiji is a frontier that is acceptable to humans, but not yet acceptable. Pervert. The surrounding Marines sighed. Akainu and Aokiji's moves and combat power have reached the level of Buster Call. Pity. Lin An, who was in the Marine, didn't know that he had been suspected by Sengoku. The withdrawal of Punk Hazard means that the attributes dropped by Aokiji and Akainu will no longer be picked up. But, this is nothing. I have seen dozens of attributes just now. That's enough. Akainu. A boundless chill rose from Aokiji's body. Everything around Aokiji seemed to be frozen in ice at this moment. I saw that Aokiji gradually condensed the cold air at this moment. Streams of cold air were gradually gathered on the right hand by Aokiji. Aokiji. Akainu didn't give up too much. At this moment, he also began to frantically condense the power of lava. At this time, Punk Hazard's island has completely changed. Although there were not many animals and plants on the Punk Hazard island in the past, it was also an island with a pretty good scenery. At this point in the battle between Aokiji and Akainu, a great change has taken place. On the left side, in the direction where Aokiji is standing, there is already a preliminary sense of the North and South Poles. On the right side, in the direction where Akainu is standing, lava is spread over the otherwise ordinary land, like a flame mouth. This trick, let's decide the outcome. Aokiji's frozen breath has been condensed at this moment. Akainu on the other side also nodded directly. Then let's end the battle with this move. Chapter 115 Broken and Found. Chapter 115 is Broken and Found. At this time, with Aokiji and Akainu fully urging Devil Fruit's ability, it even directly caused the change of the landform. On the left side, the place where Aokiji is standing has turned into an iceberg and glacier. On the right side, the direction where Akainu is standing has completely turned into a lava hell, and countless lands have melted into content. This moment, the terrain of Punk Hazard has been completely changed. The left half is ice and the right half is fire. The whole island has been completely transformed by Aokiji and Akainu. Frozen. Lava. At this time, Aokiji and Akainu have completely entered the competition of the strongest tricks. The two sides try their best to improve their own strength and fruit capacity. In order to finally win this battle, Ice Age, Aokiji took the lead. Endless freezing, the cold rushes towards Akainu crazily. Meteor Volcano. Akainu is not far behind. Countless amounts of lava are thrown directly towards Aokiji under his control. Boom. Zila. Boom. Explosion. The melting sound of lava colliding with ice. And there are all sorts of other sounds filling Punk Hazard. At this moment, the whole world seems to have changed. Water vapor is everywhere in the sky. Ha ha ha. At this time, Akainu laughed out loud. In what appears to be a tie, Akainu now has a slight upper hand. Feel the change. Akainu's attack was even crazier. More and more of the land behind him was melted into magma. This heat was even directly transmitted to the depths of the seabed, directly turning a lot of places on the right side of Punk Hazard into lava that runs through the ground. Aokiji, admit your failure. I am your egg. Then, you have to beat me first and then talk. Aokiji was not given up by Akainu's words either. Akainu did have a slight advantage. But only a little. It is not so easy for the two sides to decide the outcome. A wave of cold air was mobilized by Aokiji at the same time. This cold air was also transmitted directly to the depths of the ocean. The left half of the Punk Hazard has a lot of oceans frozen into ice at this moment. This freezing ability is even directly transmitted to the depths of the seabed. This changed the landscape of the entire island. For a moment, the battle between Aokiji and Akainu directly stunned everyone. The shock was even greater than hearing Lin An and Kaido sink an island with one move. After all, they didn't see the battle between Lin An and Kaido. And the battle between Akainu and Aokiji was witnessed firsthand. And breaking something into pieces is relatively easy. But changing the nature of a thing is completely incomprehensible. What's more, These are not ordinary household and daily necessities such as cups, pots and pans. It's an island, as expected of our admiral. At this time. Also Marine got excited. The stronger the Marine admiral, the more motivated the Marine will be. With admiral like this, isn't it easy to enter the new world? Of course, we are in new world now. Do you think those pirates in new world dare to come over? Don't dare. Marine's pride and vanity were greatly satisfied at this moment. At this time, they are more determined to their cause and Marine's justice. Akainu. Aokiji's body has completely turned into ice. The whole person rushed directly to Akainu. Aokiji. Akainu's side is no weaker than Aokiji. The whole person is completely turned into a lava man. The two sides collided directly. Bang. The sound of fists colliding sounded. Scattered blocks of ice and lava fall onto Punk Hazard's island. It directly froze a piece of land and burned a piece of land into magma. It is enough to see how cold Aokiji is and how hot Akainu is. Come again. Of course, Akainu and Aokiji couldn't help each other for a while. The battle between the two sides fell into a stalemate again. Devil Fruit's abilities are the exact opposite. Almost completely equal in strength. It is impossible to tell the outcome of the two quickly. If you want to solve it, you can only pass time. This is why Sengoku will arrange Marine 3 shifts. He had already thought of this. According to Sengoku's inference. He doesn't know who will win or lose between Akainu and Aokiji, but it will take at least 8 or 9 days to decide the winner. Asking for flowers. Marshal Sengoku. At the same time. Ghost Spider brought his team to Marine's main ship. He respectfully gave a military salute to Sengoku. Sengoku, Suru, and Garp stood at the forefront of the Marine main ship and watched the battle between Akainu and Aokiji. The arrival of the Ghost Spider shifted Sengoku's sight to the Ghost Spider team. You guys did a good job. While talking, Sengoku shifted his gaze to Marine led by the Ghost Spider. While admiring the Marines, Sengoku slowly started from the far side and looked at these Marines one by one. The clothes are a little messed up. In front of a Marine, Sengoku stopped to help arrange the Marine's clothes. Thank you, Marshal Sengoku. The Marine who was being dressed immediately gave a military salute to express his thanks. The other Marines stood up straight. This is a good opportunity to contact Marshal Sengoku head on. They want to show the best side of themselves as possible. There was only one person, with a hint of helplessness in his eyes. But still did not escape, but stood still. Good. Very good. This is the elite of my Marine. Sengoku walked slowly. A face to confirm. The line of sight also began to spread to the surroundings. For fear that someone would take the opportunity to escape. Finally. Sengoku met the familiar figure again. Looking at Lin An in front of him. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. I thought someone got in here. It turned out to be your kid. Sengoku looked at the figure in front of him and suddenly laughed. This smile directly attracted the attention of everyone on the entire Marine main ship. After seeing that face, Garp also had doubts on his face. It turned out to be this kid. What is he doing in Marine? Thinking of being punched by him before, he fell to the ground. Although it is said to be releasing the sea. But after all, it is the record that is passed on to the entire Marine, and Garp still has a bit of a grudge. It seems that Sengoku should observe carefully. Crane also showed surprise at this time. The Ghost Spider, Lin, approached this person with a dull expression on his face. Lin An. Chapter 116 Tension. Advertise here. Chapter 116 Tension. Lin An. What Lin An? Hearing what the Ghost Spider said, everyone froze for a moment. The 5th Emperor at Sea, Pirate Instructor Lin An. After experiencing the Impel Down event, the Summit War rescue, and many victories. The whole world's perception of Lin An is already unbelievably high. Marine, everyone knows about pirates. Even some countries have compiled it for Lin An. If the child is disobedient, Lin An, the cannibal pirate, will fall from the sky and take him away and eat him. The entire main ship immediately started to move, and immediately began to notify the people on other ships through the phone bug. With the passage of time, within a minute, people on more than 300 warships already knew about Lin An's involvement in the Marine. How on earth did he come up to 553? Hearing this news, all the Marines showed puzzled expressions. There are 3 floors here and 3 floors outside, and the warning range is several hundred nautical miles. How did Lin An slip in from the outside? Even, Punk Hazard's Shimasa ran to the innermost place where Akainu and Aokiji were fighting. You bastard, what do you want to do? Looking at Lin An, Sengoku frowned. He didn't doubt that Lin An had the ability to sneak into Marine's vigilant sphere of influence without anyone noticing. But he didn't know why Lin An did this. It's no secret that Punk Hazard came here this time to let Chiju and Aokiji decide the outcome in order to determine the ownership of the next Marine Marshal. Marine's large-scale entry into New World this time does not pose any threat to Lin An or other forces in New World. This is why Marine didn't deliberately hide the Punk Hazard thing. Because this is completely an internal matter of Marine, and has no relationship or connection with the pirates, plus the super high level of security of more than 300 warships in Marine. The pirate group of 4 emperors and other pirate groups or forces in New World have no sense of crisis at all, and naturally they should not come together. Look at the people in front of you, Garp, Suru and Sengoku. Lin An couldn't find a good explanation for a while. He can't say he's here to join in the fun, can he? After thinking for a while, he said calmly, if I say that I'm here to make soy sauce, would you believe me? You bastard. Sengoku looked at Lin An with anger in his eyes. This kind of perfunctory explanation is too lazy to perfunctory, and it is simply nonsense to say that it is not annoying. Very good. There was a murderous look in his eyes. Sengoku is tempted by Lin An, and he is tempted to capture Lin An. If it is possible to capture Lin An, the newly promoted Emperor of the Sea. Even if there are some problems in the change of marine power, under the influence of such a major event, the big and small things will be reduced as much as possible. This is a super-sized credit delivered to your door. Since you're not going to tell the truth, don't blame us for being rude. Speaking of which, Sengoku's eyes showed a murderous look. He and Garp surrounded Lin An from left to right. Withdraw. Seeing this, the ghost spider immediately arranged for the other marines to retreat. Not long after, the ordinary marines on the entire deck have been withdrawn. The weakest ones are also ghost spiders, as well as elite vice admirals such as Huo Shaoshan who came from other places. Am I a sheep into a tiger's mouth? Lin An glanced around. The whole person showed a look of excitement. This time to join in the fun is not really concerned about who the next marshal of the marine is. Instead, he came to pick attributes to enhance his own strength. But, it's just that the attributes of Akainu and Aokiji are really few. After all, they need to change themselves according to the marine formation. It is impossible to absorb all the attributes produced by Akainu and Aokiji in battle. Coupled with the fact that he was not directly involved, the quality of the dropped attributes dropped by more than 1 grade. If you can fight against strong players at the level of Sengoku and Garp, this attribute drop is definitely not as rare as picking up some leftovers next to Akainu and Aokiji. If you have to say that, there is nothing wrong with it. Garp took a step forward. The crane on the other side retreated a little and formed a defensive network with Ghost Spider, Huo Shaoshan and a dozen marine elite vice admirals. They couldn't really affect Lin An's level of master. However, it is not realistic for Lin An to kill them instantly. Then it is necessary to form a joint defense network to prevent Lin An from attacking warships in order to escape. After all, 5 Emperor Pirates instructor Lin An, a reward order of 4 billion. Whether it's a bounty or other perspectives, it's a good opportunity for Marine to make a name for himself. Watching Garp coming forward, Lin An pouted, slightly jokingly said, since it is a good opportunity to become famous. Then you, a marine hero who has long been famous in the world, don't need to take the initiative to find me. Speaking of which, the corner of Lin An's mouth curled up. I'm the benefactor who saved your grandson's life. I didn't ask you to repay me. Now you want to beat me violently. Isn't that good? Hee hee. Garp sneered. He looked at Sengoku slightly guilty. No matter whether Lin An hides his strength in Summit War or not. If he had been able to shoot with all his might, not to mention the complete victory of the Summit War, the Whitebeard Pirate Alliance was all won. At least Ace and Whitebeard can be kept, and the Whitebeard Pirate Alliance can be broken up. It's not an exaggeration to say that his malfeasance was the root cause of the Summit War. Now Lin An brings up the old story again. It makes Garp feel more guilty about Sengoku, already at ease. The little baby has a pretty hard mouth. I just don't know if your fist is hard enough. Talking. Armament hockey wraps around Garp. The soaring aura shattered the clouds in the sky for a while. Whether my fist is hard enough, didn't you know it early in the Summit War? Seeing that Garp was using all his strength, Lin An was also ready for battle. This is one of the top 4.1 players of the previous generation. If you are careless, being beaten into a pig's head is definitely not just thinking about it. The whole body began to condense the power of shock fruit. Cracks began to spread around Lin An's body. What to do? See this situation. All the Marines panicked. Even with Garp playing against Lin An, there is not much security. After all, Garp lost to Lin An once during the Summit War. Don't panic, our lineup this time can even attack the territory of the 4 emperors. Lin An has only one person, it is impossible to win. Chapter 117 Lin An vs Garp. Advertise here. Chapter 117 Lin An vs Garp. Quickly, Marine began to comfort himself. They have Garp and Sengoku here. Garp did lose to Lin An, but Sengoku drew with Lin An. If the two are added together, they may lose. Vice Admiral Garp come on. Marshal Sengoku come on. For a while, these helpless Marines started to support Garp and Sengoku. On the other side, Nan and Akainu also noticed something unusual on the warship. There was a tacit understanding of stopping the fighting, and Akainu and Aokiji looked over. They were dumbfounded. Lin An, how did he get in here? Lin An. Garp was surrounded by armament hockey, and he was already in front of Lin An. The fist was surging, and it hit Lin An directly in the face. Well done. Lin An's fist that gathered the energy of shock fruit directly met Garp's fist. V == #. Bang. 24. A loud bang resounded through the sky. For a moment, the entire surface of the sea shook because of Lin An and Garp's punch, which was enough to show how strong the punch of the two was. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of agility, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy, close black lens bracket. Knew it. It's still so fast to increase in strength. Sensing the change in his own strength, Yunan's eyes stared at gold stars. This happy feeling is really cool. Lin An and Garp's fists touched and split. The two sides separated instantly, and one person occupied one side. Quote. Lin An began to gather shock fruit's ability again. The energy of shock fruit converged on Lin An's right hand. Break. Look for where Garp is. Lin An's figure swayed, and under the speed bonus of sparkling fruit, he came to Garp in the blink of an eye, and punched Garp's face. Snort. Garp snorted coldly at the punch. The body is short. With his right arm outstretched, he turned in the opposite direction, directly blocking Lin An's punch. You actually want to fight me hand to hand? I'm afraid you don't know how to write death. Talking. Garp punched Lin An in the chest with his free left hand. As the legendary powerhouse of the previous generation, Garp is different from others. Others either rely on Devil Fruit's ability to match hockey, or use knives, guns, etc. to bless. Only Garp is fighting the world with two fists. This confidence is really not exaggerated. It can be seen from the fact that Lin An's punch was easily blocked by Garp just now. In terms of combat experience and combat observation acuity, Garp is better than Lin An. Tisk. The ability of sparkling fruit is activated. At the moment when Lin An was about to be hit by Garp, he used Logia's elementalization to avoid Garp's punch. Looking at Garp again, his eyes also became serious. This confrontation can be regarded as allowing him to get to know Garp again. After all, the last victory came too simple and easy, which made his perception of Garp not so accurate. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power, close black lens bracket. While picking up attributes, Lin An looked at Garp. As expected, he is indeed a marine hero. Looking at Garp, Lin An couldn't help but sigh in admiration. No wonder it is said that a man who can run after Roger, the Pirate King, is indeed strong enough. Since this is the case, then I can't hide my secrets. Facing Garp, if you are as tough as you were when fighting Kaido. Obviously it's not good for you. But, hard hand-to-hand combat is not Lin An's only way of fighting. Xing Shan, 8 directions Han sword. Spread out your left hand. Place your right hand on top of your left. A Bafang Han sword was drawn by Lin An. Seeing the Bafang Han sword, Lin An smiled slightly. As the saying goes, an inch is long and an inch is strong. Since Garp is said to be almost invincible in the world in fist-to-fist combat, then, you only need to widen the combat range to avoid Garp's strongest range. Your boy is smart. Seeing Lin An's actions, Garp naturally understood Lin An's thoughts. He did not deny what Lin An had done. On the contrary, there is something in it to remind Lin An. But, even if you avoid my best attack range, are you sure you can really beat me? You know, there are countless strong people I have defeated in this world. You are not the only one who realizes my strongest point. Regarding Garp's words, Lin An was not affected by him. Wouldn't it be good to try it? As the saying goes, true knowledge comes from practice. If there is no fight, who will know the result? Talking. A golden light flashed in Lin An's eyes. He has completely transformed into sparkling fruit mode. The Bafang Han sword in his hand went down. Straight to Garp. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Crack. It sounded like glass breaking. When Lin An picked up the attribute dropped by Garp, Lin An's Bafang Han sword was directly smashed by Garp's fist. Good strength. Lin An's attack speed is fast, and the speed of retreat is even faster. Under the energy supplement of sparkling fruit, the Bafang Han sword, which was originally produced by light, returned to its original state again. Lin An looked at Garp. A slightly mocking expression appeared on his face. It seems that my guess is still correct. As long as you have a good distance, you can avoid your attack. As long as my attack frequency is fast enough and the intensity is high enough, killing you is not something 573 can't imagine. Lin An's tactic has a more familiar name, that is flying a kite. It makes sense. Garp looked at Lin An with a headache in his eyes. Lin An's speed was supposed to be slower than his. But with the blessing of sparkling fruit, it is much faster than him. Facing Lin An in this state, Garp can only avoid being attacked by Lin An. Plus the attack distance of the Bafang Hanjian. For a while, Garp couldn't use his strength, and couldn't make an effective counterattack against Lin An at all. It can only be a fixed defense. But, no matter how high the defense is, it will be breached eventually. Come again. At this time, Garp's mind has not yet found a countermeasure against Lin An, who was too fast. Lin An's next attack has arrived. I saw countless long swords surrounding Lin An's body. These long swords are aimed directly at Garp. Sparkle. Under the infusion of sparkling fruit energy, the long sword behind Lin An gradually shone brightly. The long swords seemed to turn into dazzling little suns in midair. Wan Jian returns to the sect. Chapter 118 Sengoku joins the battle, Lin An 1v2. Chapter 118 Sengoku joins the battle, Lin An 1v2. With the palm of Lin An waving. Behind him, countless long swords created by light rushed towards Garp. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Bang. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Crack. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy, close black lens bracket. Garp's counterattack was very quick. Directly smashed a long sword with one punch, and even smashed several long swords with one punch. With every punch, Lin An can harvest at least one attribute. Until Lin An's long sword was completely crushed. Lin An has absorbed at least 20 attributes. No. Looking at Lin An, Tien Pu showed embarrassment. If this continues, it will only become a war of attrition. The war of attrition can be said to be quite unfriendly to the defensive side. As long as one mistake is made, the attacking party will seize the opportunity and hammer to death. It won't work like this, it's too passive. As he spoke, the armament hockey around Garp became thicker again. Armament hockey on top of both fists even formed a glove. Moonwalk kicks off quickly. Garp approached directly in Lin An's direction. If he wants to take the initiative, he must take the initiative to attack. Are you taking the initiative to attack? Seeing Garp's movement, the corner of Lin An's mouth curled up. Kaido fell into his hands because he was too impatient and showed his flaws. Today's Garp clearly has some signs of this. A golden brilliance flashed in his eyes. At this moment, Wenin mobilized Shock Fruit's calendar area again. The light energy of the sparkling fruit and the vibration of the shock fruit merged again at this moment. Combination technique, electromagnetic shock. During the conversation, Lin An took back the Bafang Han sword. Aim at Garp's fist and it's a punch. Not good. As one of the spectators of the battle between Lin An and Kaido, Garp has also seen the power of Lin An's punch. It can be said that the reason why Kaido was defeated by Lin An was because of the suddenness of this move. According to the analysis of Marine's internal senior management afterwards, Lin An is the awakening of shock fruit, and added the light energy of sparkling fruit to it. The breakthrough of resonance and light energy achieves a defense breaking effect similar to real damage. This gave Kaido a fatal blow. This trick, even Garp has to avoid its edge. However, Lin An's speed is really too fast. Now in front of him, there are only two results left, namely head-to-head, or avoiding and being chased by Lin An. Fight. Garp's eyes were serious. A soaring aura formed around his body. At this moment, the glove composed entirely of armament hockey winding is more solid at this moment. Bang. Fist and fist collided directly. All of a sudden, the sea waves were overwhelmed. The huge waves directly caused the well-arranged marine warships around them to drift a little bit. Destroyed the already well-organized formation. How can it be? Is this going to destroy the world? Looking at Lin An and Garp in midair. It seems that Lin An and Garp have been fighting for a long time, but in fact they have not collided for more than 3 minutes. And the battle fluctuations generated within these 3 minutes have already surpassed Akainu and Aokiji on the side. Akainu, Aokiji, you two stop fighting. Sengoku on the side saw that the battle between Garp and Lin An had reached a stalemate, so he also called the phone bug to Akainu and Aokiji. Prepare to respond on the outside, don't let Lin An. Akainu and Aokiji stopped as early as the fight between Lin An and Garp. Hearing Sengoku's words at this time, there was a hint of confusion in his eyes. With Sengoku around, why should they be on the perimeter? But, next second, their confusion disappears. They saw that Sengoku also stepped on the moonwalk and flew into the air. Bang. There was a loud bang. Blast the already monstrous waves directly. For a moment, the sky around Punk Hazard was clearly clear. But it's raining. This move is really powerful. After one move, Garp took a few steps back, feeling the fist bump with Lin An's right hand. At this point there is already a bit of a tingling feeling. Although there were no signs of injury. But this level of physical inadequacy affects Garp himself. Looking at Lin An, Tien Pu frowned and said, no wonder Kaido is defeated. Although this kind of fighting method will not harm the body, it will affect the functioning of the body. Naturally, there is no possibility of fighting with a strong person of the same level. Does it only affect the functioning of the body? Listening to Garp's words, Lin An's eyes showed disbelief. You know, this is the power of resonance plus laser. After Lin An ended the Four Emperors battle between Whitebeard and Kaido, in order to verify the reliability and strength of this power, he once went to Sea Kings to test. Punch down. The Sea Kings hundreds of meters in size were directly shattered, not even bones left. When it comes to Garp, it actually only affects the functioning of the body. Think about it now. Kaido's physical appearance is also unharmed. After being hit by this trick, there is a high probability that it will feel similar to Garp's. Tut tut. Quote. Lin An looked at Garp and clicked his tongue. Should it be said that it is indeed a monster among the legendary powerhouses of the previous generation? During the conversation, on Lin An's fists, the energy of sparkling fruit and shock fruit gathered again. However, since it's useful, it's fine. It is enough to affect the movement of the flesh. Right now Garp won't be taking it too easy, at least with his right arm. So, it was impossible for him to confront himself. Combination skills. Lin An's body moved quickly under the influence of the sparkling fruit. The whole body quickly came to Garp at this moment. Again, Garp saw that Lin An was about to arrive in front of him. There was also a look of helplessness on his face. His right arm is not very flexible now, and it will take some time to recover. But, Lin An, who is about to arrive in front of him, has made it very clear, that Lin An will not give Garp this chance. Stretch out your left fist. Garp's fist covered armament hockey as tightly as possible. Electromagnetic shock. At this time, An has already made a move. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Clang. There was a sound like metal whining. Garp's fist hadn't had time to swing yet. Lin An's attack was stopped by a giant golden hand. No wonder. After one move, Lin An backed away quickly. He was still wondering why Garp would drop the attribute, Devil Fruit Growth Experience. It turned out that Sengoku helped Mai. Chapter 119 Aokiji and Akainu join, 1v4. Advertise here. Chapter 119 Aokiji and Akainu join, 1v4. Look at Sengoku in front of you. Lin An shrugged. A slightly mocking voice sounded. Is this the just marine? Just 2-on-1. In this regard, Sengoku, who has turned into a Buddha form, has no expression on his face. Do you think that I have already made a move, and I might be provoked by such a clumsy aggressive method like yours? During the conversation, the huge body of the Buddha gradually shrinks. Sengoku's body turns into that of a normal person. But the golden color on his body did not disappear. Apparently, this is the awakening pattern of the zone, the fruit of all, due to the form. Only, can this form be called human beast form? After all, Zone's fruit awakening now seems to be in human beast form. This slightly ridiculing question turned in Lin An's mind for a while, and Lin An didn't think about it anymore. After all, what we have to face now is Garp and Sengoku, two legendary powerhouses of the previous generation. Are you all right? Sengoku glanced at Garp beside him. Never mind. Shook hands. This time was bought with the help of Sengoku. Garp also recovered. Looking at Lin An, his face was still serious. Be careful. His combo of 093 shock fruit and sparkling fruit is pretty insane. Sengoku nodded in response. Yeah. I also noticed that if it weren't for the golden body of the Buddha to help resist this resonance and laser, my arm would be directly disabled. The combo moves developed by this little guy are really powerful. Thank you Marshal Sengoku for your compliment. At this time, Lin An took over the topic. To be praised by the legendary powerhouse of the previous generation, no matter who it is, it will be very happy. But, I don't intend to really praise you. At this time, Sengoku's body shone with golden light. An aura that seemed to wipe out all the injustices in the world spread around. This moment, even the irritable and eager marines below were calmed down at this moment. Is it the power of Buddha? Lin An was also infected by this force, and her mood was unprecedentedly peaceful. Only, this kind of influence is obviously not enough to make Lin An give up the fight. I'll help you resist Lin An's combo, and you will find a way to cause damage to him. At this time, Sengoku began to divide the work. Since the Buddha's golden body can resist Lin An's resonance and laser, then it's good for him to restrain Lin An and let Garp, who has a stronger attack, Jebi, find a chance to deal with Lin An. Good. Garp nodded. The two rushed towards Lin An directly. As an old friend who has cooperated for decades, the tacit understanding that should be there is still there. Sengoku's body exuding golden Buddha light has come to Lin An. Straight out with one punch. Well done. Lin An's eyes burst out with extremely strong energy. He didn't panic at all against Garp and Sengoku. At this moment, the sparkling fruit's ability has reached its limit. Although Lin An is not afraid of the combination of Garp and Sengoku. But he didn't dare to be careless. Increase the speed to the limit, so as to ensure your own safety as much as possible. Dual power supremacy. The energy of shock fruit is fully concentrated. Quote. Destroy the world. Punch out. Immediately met Sengoku's fist head on. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. Successive attributes were picked up by Lin An. The fists of the two also collided at this moment. Clang. A metallic clang sounded. At this moment, Sengoku's Buddha's golden body directly received Lin An's strongest punch. Retreat. Back quickly. As fast as Sengoku advances, he is beaten back as fast as he can. Indeed, the golden body of Buddha is an extremely buggy ability. But there is also a very obvious disadvantage. That is, once the strength is not as good as the opponent, then it can only become a sandbag. Today's Sengoku is facing such a problem. How can it be? Paper arts used. Sengoku cut the power of Lin An's punch as much as possible. Then Moonwalk quickly adjusted his figure and stood in midair again. He recalled Lin An's strength during the Summit War. At that time, the confrontation between the two was obviously a match, and that was still in the case that he did not show the awakening of fruit. But now it is completely different. Even in the case of fruit awakening, he is still weaker than Lin An. Did Lin An hide his strength during the Summit War? This conjecture was directly rejected by Sengoku once it appeared. In such a serious situation, it is absolutely impossible for Lin An to hide his strength. Then there is only one possibility. Lin An is growing rapidly. This possibility is the lowest, because after reaching their level, every point of growth will be accompanied by a huge price. And Lin An's big strides in growth are all underestimating him. It's exactly the 100-meter sprint of Su Shen. Combination technique, electromagnetic shock. Bang. Just at this time, there was another muffled sound. At this moment, Lin An punched again. Because there is no Sengoku's cover. Garp got another punch from Lin An. Tisk, it's troublesome. Garp backs off. Feeling the right arm, the sense of discomfort at this time is even greater than before. It took Garp half a minute to recover from the discomfort just now, and this time it may take at least 2 minutes to recover. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Pick up the attributes dropped by Garp. Lin An looked at Garp, who had to back up because of his damaged arm. There was a fighting spirit in his eyes. The energy of the shock fruit and sparkling fruit all over the body converged again. Combination technique, electromagnetic oscillation. Talking. Lin An has hit Garp. Although he said that he would use all his strength, he never thought about killing Kakuo. After all, Garp's physical fitness is here. If you don't use all your strength, there is no way to completely stop Garp. Frozen, storm pheasant mouth. Lava, dark hound. Just at this time, the temperature on the left side of Lin An suddenly dropped sharply. The temperature on the right half rose hundreds of degrees in an instant. Lin An stopped chasing Garp. His eyes quickly looked left and right. An ice bird on the left half, and a lava hellhound on the right are almost at his side. The whole body is golden. The elementalization of sparkling fruit helped Lin An get rid of the dilemma of pinching left and right. Zila. The ice bird and hellhound blended together, forming a pile of water vapor and cooled stones. Looking at the 4 people in front of him, Lin An laughed out loud. I didn't expect that I still have this honorable minister. W. Chapter 120 Undefeated, Invincible Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 120 Undefeated, Invincible Lin An. Marine Admiral. Buddha. Of Sengoku, Marine Hero. Garp, Marine Admiral. Akainu. Sakazuki, Marine Admiral. Aokiji, Kuzan. Except for one Kizaru who didn't come, this is already the strongest combat power that Marine has on the table today. After thinking for a while, Lin An said again, is this the justice of Marine? The justice of 4 against 1 really has a sense of justice. Such a joke. Naturally, it will not have any effect. Sengoku, Garp, Akainu and Aokiji are not the ones who are easily provoked by the aggressive method. If you finish speaking, then wait for your death. Akainu spoke first. He is most looking forward to killing Lin An. In this way, the prestige lost in the Marine due to the Summit War can be directly reversed, and even far surpassed before. The whole body began to instantly turn into lava. Logia fruit ability awakened. Is it Lin An? The sea doesn't need it. The 5th Emperor. Aokiji's whole body is also completely transformed into ice cubes, which is also the awakening of the Logia fruit ability. Although it's kind of unfair to say that. Quote. Garp approached slowly. Looking at Lin An's face showed a touch of calmness. With the addition of Akainu and Aokiji, the possibility of defeating Lin An is greatly increased. But it's something we have to do. Don't worry, I will take you directly to a certain island and take care of it myself. Stop talking nonsense with him. Sengoku also surrounded Lin An at this time. Go together. Good. X3. Garp, Hanshin and Aokiji responded immediately. Frozen. Lava. Buddhas. For a while. The 4 people around Lin An's body used their abilities and waved their fists one after another. Ice Spear. Volcano. 1 strike. Die. Sengoku, Garp, Faithful Dog and Aokiji stand in Lin An's 4 directions, east, west, north and south respectively, and surround it. At this time, Aokiji's right arm turned into an ice spear, stabbing Lin An directly from the left. Akainu hit Lin An from the right side, turning his right arm into a lava volcano. Sengoku stood in front of Lin An, his golden fists went straight to Lin An's head. Garp waved his left fist, aiming at Lin An's lower back. Too brutal. Look around. Lin An also has micro-pupils. He really couldn't bear the siege of these 4 people. His strength is indeed better than any one of these 4 now, and even Lin An is confident that he can kill any one of them in a one-on-one situation. However, if they teamed up, it would be a bit unsightly. Jun. Although I know that there is a gap between the strength and the opponent's cooperation. But, the purpose of Lin An coming here is not really to join in the fun, but to become stronger. With the speed of sparkling fruit, Lin An can guarantee that he cannot be caught. Now that 4 masters are here to give away their attributes, how could Lin An just admit that he is a coward and run away? Destroy the world. Lin An spread out her hands. The endless shock fruit energy crazily spread along Lin An's body to the surroundings. The dense cracks even formed a scene similar to a black hole. The power of the vibration even directly stirred up the seawater in a radius of 100 miles. Bang. Boom. There were bursts of explosions and shattering sounds. Aokiji's ice spear exploded, and the depleted lava shattered. Sengoku and Garp were also forced back by Lin An's desperate move. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy, close black lens bracket. As Lin An forced the 4 strong Marines back, the sound of continuously absorbing attributes was transmitted to Lin An's mind through the system. And there is no common attribute like strength and agility. All of them are high-level, high-quality, rare attributes. Just this time, Lin An has obtained dozens of attributes. Feeling the harvest this time, Lin An smiled with satisfaction. Is this what really makes Lin An happy? Eyes look around. Lin An looked at the 4 people who were forced to retreat by him with embarrassing faces, and said calmly, "It seems that I have the ability to overthrow a Marine. How can it be so strong?" At this time, the Marines below showed despair on their faces. Originally, it was acceptable for Garp to be repulsed by Lin An, asking for flowers. But the presence of Sengoku gave them confidence again. However, even if Sengoku and Garp teamed up, they were still beaten back by Lin An. The hope that had just risen was extinguished again. Just at this time, Akainu and Aokiji, who were still in Beidou, stopped and came to support. This time, the 4 Marines with the highest level of combat power are here to serve Lin An alone. It is impossible for Lin An to repel him, right? This time the hope was stronger. However, the fact is so ruthless. Lin An once again defeated the combination of Sengoku, Garp, Akainu and Aokiji. This situation is close to the end of the world for Marine. Don't panic. At this time, Marine's elite vice admirals had to stand up to appease the soldiers. Otherwise, deserters might appear. Although Lin An is very strong, he is not strong enough to face the 4 top players without suffering. 0. He was just able to push back Marshal Sengoku and Vice Admiral Garp, and they were mostly completely desperate to unleash their power. This extremely exhausting tactic cannot be sustained. Similar words appear on the various warships of the Marine. This stabilized the military spirit that was about to collapse. However, this also shows from the side that Lin An may not be able to deal with the 4 of them. But with 2 people, Lin An is more than enough to deal with it. It seems that you are finally at the end of your rope. Looking at Lin An, Akainu sneered. Using such an energy-intensive move, you will run out of energy within a few times, right? That's right. Lin An directly admitted it generously. The main reason why he didn't directly choose to leave is that he just wanted to take advantage of the combination of Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji and Akainu. After all, it is rare to be able to gather so many masters. Xing Shan, 8 Directions Han Sword. Lin An activated the ability of Sparkling Fruit again. He still has calculations about his physical strength. It can still be installed here for a while. Since you Marines are all shameless, 4 against 1. Then if I just ran away, wouldn't I lose face at all to you? Chapter 121 Fierce Battle, 1 vs 4. Advertise here. Chapter 121 Fierce Battle, 1 vs 4. Lin An's ridicule can be said to be steady and ruthless. Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji and Akainu all turn to Kurozumi. These 4 are all like this. Some of the ordinary Marines below have even just left the Marine training base not long ago, and have never been in contact with the outside world at all. At this time, they almost committed suicide in shame. Looking at Lin An, Akainu spoke first again. You kid, do you only know how to talk? How much ability I have, you know best, right? Lin An is right about Akainu. The gaze moved directly to Akainu's eyes, the provocation in the eyes could be seen by even the most stupid person. After all, you and I have fought each other before. Fight. The corner of Akainu's mouth twitched. During the Summit War period, there was no fighting. Totally crushed. This is not reminiscing with him, it is completely provoking him. 280. I want to see how long you can keep your mouth shut. During the conversation, Akainu's whole body is directly lava formed. Streams of lava are manipulated by Akainu. The combination of Lin An's shock fruit and sparkling fruit is extremely destructive to non-Logia-capable users, but Logia-capable users are different, because they can be elementalized and become a natural element of the devil fruit they eat. The combination of shock fruit and sparkling fruit can't hurt the elementals. Lava. Akainu has come to Lin An's side at this time. At this time, the area around the right fist has completely become a huge lava fist. Great eruption. With Akainu tricks read out completely. A huge fist of lava, the size of a warship and hundreds of meters away, blasted directly at Lin An. The temperature over 1,000 degrees made the surroundings feel as hot as entering a flaming mountain. Tisk, it's so hot. Lin An looked at the huge lava fist in front of him and clicked his tongue. If you were on the Titanic back then, it would have been absolutely impossible for the ship to hit an iceberg. Lin An complained. As for whether Akainu can solve icebergs the size of small islands, he really doesn't know. After all, these are people and things in two worlds. The 8 directions Han sword in his hand began to flash a golden brilliance at this time. Cut. Accompanied by Lin An shouting. A cross slash was swung out, and the piercing slash was cut into 4 companions. The slashing air blade continued to fly out through the lava fist. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. The lava fist that was split in 4 directly penetrated Lin An's body. Picks up attributes dropped by Akainu. Lin An has already looked to his left. At this time, Aokiji had already condensed the frozen energy in his body. Wheel fight. Shameless. Lin An complained. However, Lin An also made defensive preparations. He still can't do the tricks of a strong player at the Admiral level so that he doesn't need to defend. Or, no one in this world can do it. Frozen. Aokiji looked at Lin An calmly. Aokiji, who has fully awakened from devil fruit, is now a human being carved out of ice. The moment the cold air from the whole body came into contact with the air, streams of cold steam appeared and surrounded Aokiji. Time capsule. This trick. Aokiji also uses ranged attacks. Accompanied by the use of Aokiji tricks. The cold air directly pressed towards Lin An. Wherever it passes, even water vapor will be frozen into hail and fall down. Occasionally passing birds and other creatures in the air suffocated to death instantly under the freezing energy. Sharp. This trick. It completely exceeded Lin An's expectations. This invisible and colorless means of attack Lin An can only temporarily evade the edge. The ability of sparkling fruit is activated. Lin An directly bypassed Aokiji's blow. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Pick up the attributes dropped by Aokiji. Lin An set his sights on Aokiji. If you have this kind of trick, you can use it in the Summit War. Wouldn't I have lost a long time ago? Depend on. Aokiji was almost out of breath and had a brain congestion. He thought so too, but how could he have so much stamina and strength during the Summit War? First, he had to deal with the hundreds of meters of tsunami waves caused by Whitebeard. Secondly, he was seriously injured by Whitebeard because of the surprise attack. Next, he was also entangled by Chaozi. Although Chaozi said that he was not as strong as him, a powerhouse at the Emperor's deputy level could also consume his physical strength. With so much consumption, how could he use such a costly trick as time-space capsule? Thousands of bergamot. Fist of justice. At this moment, Lin An took care of Akainu's great eruption, after dodging Aokiji's time capsule. Sengoku and Garp didn't give Lin An any reaction or time. They are very clear. Since it is 4 against 1, it means that 1-on-1 cannot be defeated. Either thunder kills. Either it is a war of attrition, dragging the opponent to death. If the opponent is Lin An, it is obviously impossible to kill him. Then the result is only the second point. Don't give Lin An a little rest time at all, just drag him to death. Hey. Lin An's fists began to gather the energy of shock fruit and sparkling fruit. Feel this fast and strong sense of oppression. From the corner of the eye, I glanced in the direction of Aokiji and Akainu. At this point they began to accumulate fruit energy again. Obviously, the strategy of Sengoku and the other 4 is that Akainu and Aokiji take turns to bomb, and then Sengoku and Garp fight in close quarters to prevent him from escaping. Don't give him a little rest and relaxation time at all. You are so despicable. 4 beat 1, and you still use such a wretched trick. Obscene tricks. As the saying goes, it doesn't matter whether a cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice, it is a good cat. The trick is not to be mean or above board, but to be easy to use. Sengoku smiled slightly. Endless brilliance blooms from the right hand of the golden body of the Buddha. Vaguely. There are countless arms and fists hidden in the brilliance. The other side. Garp's fist is condensed with a thick layer of armed 4.3 color hockey. This armament hockey seems to form an exoskeleton armor under the control of Garp. It turned out to be directly independent, forming a glove on the outside. Sengoku is at the front and Garp is at the back. The strength of both of them surpassed most people in this world. Once one of the two punches was hit, I am afraid that no one in this world can bear it. Combination skills. Of course Lin An will not sit still. The way to deal with Akainu, Aokiji is different. Deal with these two old guys from a previous era. Naturally, we must use our full strength as much as possible. I glanced at the positions of the two from the corner of my eye. Electromagnetic oscillation. Chapter 122 Lin An's Reckless Play. Advertise here. Chapter 122 Lin An's Reckless Play. The shock fruit energy and sparkling fruit energy that Lin An had just mobilized from his body were completely released by him at this moment. Boom, boom. Four fists collided together. Lin An is 1 against 2, not at all inferior. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of Conqueror's hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. Countless attributes are absorbed by Lin An. The absorption of dozens of attributes, which can be called the highest quality in the world, allowed Lin An to clearly feel the improvement of his own strength. After this trick, Garp and Sengoku quickly backed away. It's not because the power released by Lin An this time is stronger than the two of them. Today's Lin An seems to be in a good mood, but in fact he is already focusing on defense and has no intention of countering them. Naturally, he will not cause too much harm to them. The reason for the quick retreat. The main thing is to give Akainu and Aokiji time and space to attack. Lava. Akainu's lava-formed body has condensed 24 lava balls several hundred meters in size. Under the control of Akainu, this giant ball of lava flew straight towards Lin An. Meteor. Meteor is an astronomical phenomenon in which solid garbage such as rocks in space are attracted to the planet by gravity. Because of the friction of the atmosphere, they will all become lava. This Akainu can be considered a name. Seeing the lava ball flying towards him from the sky, Lin An took a deep breath. The energy of shock fruit was mobilized again at this moment. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Gen. Clenched right fist. Cracks spread across Lin An's right fist. Destroy. A roar. This time, Lin An chose to release shock fruit remotely. I saw the energy of the shock fruit going upstream in an instant, arriving at the lava ball of Akainu directly. Bang. The moment the energy of shock fruit touched the lava ball, it directly attracted the lava ball. At this moment, the sky seemed to be raining meteorites. It spreads directly to the surroundings. Not good. At this time, Lin An and Sengoku, Garp, Sleepy Dog and Aokiji are below the 4-player battleground. Dozens of warships were included in the envelope of the meteor shower. Vice Admiral and Rear Admiral people who have successfully practiced moonwalk immediately come to the southeast direction. At this time, the Ghost Spider immediately began to communicate with the entire Marine through the internal network. Everyone is here to help clean up the lava, be sure not to let it hurt the warship. Soon, under the call of the Ghost Spider, the masters among the more than 300 Marine warships all flew out by stepping on the moonwalk. For a while, hundreds of strong Marines played Fruit Ninja at the feet of Lin An and Akainu. However, they are not ninjas, and they are not cutting fruits. Once a mistake is made, it is impossible to do it again, but it will cause a huge loss to the warship. Frozen. After Akainu's attack was over, he retreated quickly. Aokiji on the side stepped forward almost seamlessly. Clenched hands. The cold air he controlled had unknowingly affected Lin An's surroundings. Frozen moment. During the conversation, ice started to appear around Lin An. The speed at which the ice cube spread exceeded everyone's imagination. In just an instant, Lin An was frozen inside. Successful. At this time, Akainu looked at Aokiji with doubt in his eyes. Both Sengoku and Garp looked at Aokiji expectantly. If there is anyone among the four who is most likely to catch Lin An, it is undoubtedly Aokiji. The abilities of the other three are head-to-head, and they don't have any ability to capture or trap each other. Only Aokiji's frozen fruit has this ability. Without. Aokiji's expression didn't relax. Looking at the frozen Lin An, he started to retreat instead. Vice Admiral Garp, Marshal Sengoku, keep attacking. Break. Aokiji's voice just fell. The frozen Lin An has come out. Shock fruit directly shattered the ice trapped around his body. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. He moved his body a little, with a dissatisfied expression on his face. Extremely hot again, yes again. If I catch a cold, I must ask you to pay for it. Cold, are you still in the mood to think about such a thing? The mouth corners of Sengoku, Garp, Akainu and Aokiji twitched. They have no way of understanding what Lin An's brain circuit is like. We can provide you with the best medical resources in the world. Sengoku and Garp stepped forward again this time. I can tell. They just want to continue this cycle. Sengoku and Garp give Akainu and Aokiji time to build up devil fruit energy with greater power. Then the four of them issued the ability that Lin An had to accept the move and consume physical strength. In order to weaken Lin An as much as possible, they also get respite and rest time because of their mutual cooperation. Physical exertion is negligible, but if it is transformed into equal parts to represent, then when Lin An uses 10 parts of physical strength, each of these 4 people will use 2 parts of physical strength. 4 people added together also need 2 less energy than Lin An 137. Less effort, more powerful. This is the benefit of many people joining forces. Buddha fist, long arms. Sengoku in front of Lin An threw another punch at this time. This punch came out. It was as if Sengoku's fist had been punched from thousands of miles away. But look carefully. Sengoku's fist didn't move at all. His body didn't change at all. Seeing this, Lin An showed a serious look on his face. Sengoku, the old guy, became completely serious. Carefully calculated his physical strength. Under such a regular siege by these 4 people, they might be able to block the next 5 moves at most. Having said that, there was a hint of greed in Lin An's eyes. As the saying goes, when others fear me, I am greedy, and when I live in a villa, you eat dirt. Lin An's gambler mentality broke out completely. Anyway, there are people from the 17th Division in the distance to respond. Lin An decided to fight till the end. Iron Fist, Death Straight Fist. At this time, Garp behind him also used armament hockey gloves to fight towards Lin An again. The shock fruit energy and sparkling fruit energy in Lin An's body were gathered together again. Combination skills. Chapter 123 Master is gone, don't miss me too much. Chapter 123 Grandpa is gone, don't miss me too much. Lin An is already ready to start running. However, before running away, he still wants to collect a big wave. At least it must reach the amount that can only be picked up by training the Whitebeard Pirates, now 2,600 people for half a year, or even a year. Not enough. The energy of the shock fruit and sparkling fruit desperately condensed into Lin An's body, and then spread around. Just the 2 of you is not enough. You 4 come together. The roar instantly pierced through the sky and resounded directly over the entire sea area. However, no one questioned it at this time. The power gathered in the current Lin An's body is completely capable of destroying an island, and it is the kind that can be directly wiped off the map and directly turned into a sea of kings. Fortunately, Lin An's battle with Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji and Akainu was in midair. If not, the punk hazard below is about to become history. Go together. See the energy that Lin An gathers. Akainu and Aokiji who were waiting were not calm anymore. At this time, the strength that had been accumulated was also gathered in front of Lin An. Lava, the dog gnaws the red lotus. Akainu's already lava body turned into a hellhound at this time, and under his urging, he went straight to Lin An. Frozen hero. Aokiji on the other side also completely released the frozen energy of his whole body, and gave it directly to Lin An. Plus Garp and Sengoku's all-out attack. The 4 of them have seen Lin An's desperate blow. The plan was the same as at the beginning, the 4 teamed up to suppress Lin An's counterattack again. Ha ha ha. Facing the joint attack of the 4, Lin An laughed wildly. Great. That's what fighting is for. Lin An was excited. He has to be excited. He used 80% of his remaining physical strength now. It is to seduce the Sengoku 4 to attack themselves with all their strength. In the beginning, even if it doesn't work, Akainu and Aokiji will be careful that the attributes they receive from Sengoku and Garp are definitely not bad. Now the 4 of them are going all out. Naturally, there will be more attributes that can be received. How could he be unhappy? Electromagnetic shock. Lin An felt the moves of the 4 approaching. Directly and completely released the tricks he used. This is also the strongest move that Lin An can use so far. Just for an instant, the tricks of the 5 people were mixed together. Boom, bang, boom boom boom, explosions, meltdowns. A mix of various voices resounded in midair. For a while, the system sound received by Lin An's brain became blurred. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a power, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a piece of agility. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a piece of intelligence. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, you picked up a copy. Close black lens bracket. Under the confrontation of tricks, Lin An didn't even know how many attributes he had received. Roughly estimated, there are at least hundreds of them. As long as Lin An fully integrates this growth, he is afraid that he will directly reach the highest peak in the world, and his strength will definitely exceed the level of 4 emperors. Even in the face of 5 elders, the real world-class powerhouses like Long are absolutely worthy. Boom. After a burst of explosions, Lin An, Sengoku, Garp, Akainu and Aokiji scattered and retreated. This boy, why is he so dirty? During the inverted flight, Garp looked dull. The 4 of them have consumed Lin An for nearly an hour. And under the circumstances that forced him to use all his strength, he still ended up in a tie like this. Something's wrong. At this time, Akainu's voice sounded beside 10. Look, he's going to run. Look in the direction of Akainu's finger. Lin An took advantage of this time when the 5 of them were both injured and retreated respectively. It even used the speed of its sparkling fruit to escape quickly. Asshole. Sengoku's roar sounded. He chased after him. Garp, Akainu and Aokiji also caught up again after stabilizing their bodies. But, firstly, the distance between him and Lin An is too big. Secondly, Lin An has the blessing of sparkling fruit, how could he catch up? Chasing and chasing, watching Lin An getting farther and farther away. Sengoku's angry voice resounded through the sky. Lin An, don't you want to fight to the death with us? What kind of hero is he if he escapes like this? Hero. Fighting one of the 4 of you counts as a hero. Moreover, Laozi is a pirate, what rules do I tell you? For Sengoku's ridicule, Lin An expressed disdain. On the contrary, the speed accelerated again. Now his physical strength has bottomed out immediately. He still has the wounds from the fighting of these 4 people. If you don't run, are you waiting to be caught? Grandpa is gone, don't miss me too much. Lin An gradually disappeared from sight. The voice floated above the sea. Only Sengoku, Garp, Aokiji and Akainu were left in a daze, at a loss. Damn. Star you star. Extra star. For a while. The highest commanders and the highest combat power of these marines began to curse people. Although cursing cannot solve the problem, it can relieve the anger in the heart, and it is a very good way to relieve the mind. On the Sea of New World, Lin An was resting on the boat of the 17th Division. At this time, it has been a week since Lin An caused Punk hazard. The not-so-serious injury has recovered under the treatment of the ship's doctor, and most of the physical exertion has recovered. Lin An is planning to return to the Whitebeard Pirates. Lee's team leader. Just at this time, a figure ran in from outside. What's all the fuss about? Sheikh looked at the flustered people with displeasure on their faces. The captain of their ship is Lin An. How can a strong man who can single out naval headquarters be so flustered? There is a man floating on the sea, we just salvaged him. That's all the shit. Sheikh looked at this man like a fool. This kind of thing always happens on the sea. After all, the sea is like a woman's face, and she will turn her face if she says to turn her face. Shipwreck is not a rare thing. Even if they are pirates, they will save people when they encounter them. But, that person seems to be the former Marine Admiral. Chapter 124 Picking up a Treasure. Advertise here. Chapter 124 Picked up a baby. When the correspondent said this, everyone was stunned. Even Lin An turned his attention to him. Once Marine Admiral. Marine Admiral is an establishment in Marine. Each generation has only 3. This generation of Marine Admiral has not retired yet. Then he is talking about the previous generation of Marine Admiral. The previous generation of Marine Admiral is quite special, there are only 2 in total. Sengoku of the Buddha, who is now the Marine Marshal, and the other is Zephyr Admiral known as Black Arm, Zephyr. As for the 3rd Admiral position, there is an only Garp can take it, but Garp has not agreed because Admiral has to obey the Celestial Dragons, and he doesn't like to be restrained, so the 3rd Admiral position has always been vacant. Now, Sengoku he just met. Then there is only one possibility. Could it be that? Lin An stood up. Take me to sea. Yes. Deck. A drowned and unconscious person appeared in Lin An's sight. Marine Admiral can be said to be an existence that pirates must know. Zephyr's name is naturally circulated among Marines. It's really Zephyr. Seeing the drowning people on the deck, Lin An was stunned. 930, but, didn't he disappear in Marine 9 years ago? Why did he suddenly appear in New World? For pirates, especially the fleet of the New World 4 emperors. Others can ignore it, but Marine Admiral's actions must be of special concern. After all, Admiral really possessed the existence that could inflict damage or even a devastating blow to them. The sudden disappearance of Zephyr can be said to be a big event that caused discussions in New World that year. Looking around Zephyr's body, Lin An showed a smile. It seems that Fa's life is not easy. Although Zephyr still wears Marine's uniform nowadays. But it is obviously not a regular Marine uniform. Coupled with his drowning body, he was obviously in trouble. His eyes lingered on Zephyr for a moment. Lin An showed curiosity and anticipation. Maybe, I can pull him onto the boat. If Lin An is the pirate instructor, then FA is the marine instructor. Lin An's title of pirate instructor is watery. After all, even if he is really teaching others strength, he is only teaching on the Whitebeard Pirates. The other pirates have not been taught by him. But the title of Zephyr, marine instructor, is beyond doubt. Among the first marine led by Zephyr were the current marine Admiral Akainu and Kizaru. There is Aokiji in the third marine. The marine vice admirals that can be called today are basically Zephyr's disciples. 3 marine admirals, countless marine vice admirals, elite vice admirals. No one will question how strong Zephyr's educational capabilities are. It is not too much to say that most of the contemporary marines are trained by Zephyr. This is where, just when Lin An recalled the information about Zephyr that he heard from Whitebeard and others, Zephyr faintly woke up. He looked around blankly. After seeing the size of the ship and the eyes of the people around him, Zephyr showed gratitude on his face. Did you save me? Yes, we saved you. Lin An stretched out his right hand, and Zephyr understood, and grabbed Lin An's hand and stood up. Thank you very much. Zephyr looked at Lin An with a smile on his face. The robotic arm of the right hand rests on Lin An's hand. He looked at Lin An with a look of understanding in his eyes. There is a seastone on the mechanical arm of the right arm. After physical contact, he confirmed that Lin An is not a devil fruit-capable person. Gululu. At this time, a discordant voice sounded. Are you hungry? Hearing Zephyr's stomach growl, Lin An couldn't hold back the smile on his face either. Looking at the sun in the sky, it's also meal time on our ship, why don't we just have a meal together? Zephyr had a slightly troubled look on his face. But in fact, CECB is hungry and a little unbearable. That's troublesome. Time to eat. For a while. Everyone yelled. After Lin An and Zephyr entered the cabin, other people also poured into the cabin. Because of going to eat, Zephyr happened to miss the Whitebeard Pirates flag above the ship. The kitchen has already prepared meals. After a meal wolfed down, Zephyr patted his stomach, looked at Lin An again, and said gratefully, thank you brother for your help. For the rescue and food expenses this time, I will ask my disciples to give you money, so you won't suffer in vain. Talking. Zephyr looked around. At this time, Lin An's boat was eating and drinking, and the sun was jubilant. After all, they are all prisoners liberated from Impel Down. They have all longed for this kind of free life for too long. The degree of liveliness is even far higher than that of any other pirate group. Your ship is really alive. I haven't seen such a dynamic ship in a long time. In this regard, Lin An smiled slightly. That's natural. Our ship is free, and the crew members feel happy, so they will naturally have vitality. Free. It stands to reason that ordinary boats should not be in compliance with the rules. Hearing Lin An's words, Zephyr frowned slightly. Why do these words sound like something a pirate can say? After all, it is the original Marine Admiral, so it is normal to have resistance to pirates. Lin An looked at Zephyr in front of him, and asked tentatively, actually, not all pirates are bad guys. As long as you pay enough protection fees, you will avoid a lot of trouble under the pirates. Pirates are bad guys, all pirates should die. At this time. Hearing Lin An's words, Zephyr, who had been kind just now, went berserk. This roar made everyone around stop immediately. He looked at Zephyr unkindly. However, under Lin An's gesture, they quickly pretended not to know anything again. The excitement disappeared. Sorry. After the delivery, Zephyr looked at Lin An and the surrounding atmosphere with a look of apology on his face. I'm so excited. It's affecting the atmosphere on your ship. Fine. To this, Lin An was not angry either. Zephyr is clearly a nice guy, a very nice guy. But why are you so irritable when it comes to pirates, and even lose your composure? You know, Sengoku, Garp and Crane who were in the same period as him did not reach this level. Especially Garp, even dared to do such an earth-shattering event as saving Roger's child. Chapter 125 Zephyr's Wrath. Advertise here. Chapter 125 Zephyr's Wrath. May I ask you what happened? Lin An looked at Zephyr. After thinking about it for a while, I found a good opportunity and way to say it. You were miserable when our crew rescued you. Are you encountering a natural disaster, or are you encountering pirates? Why? Listening to Lin An's words, Zephyr sighed. In my mind, I recalled what happened before being rescued by Lin An. He thought that Marine would send someone to stop him, but he didn't expect that it was Kizaru who came to stop him. And, he's still so annoying. After thinking for a while, Zephyr looked into Lin An's eyes and said slowly, I met a pirate. So that's how it is. Lin An nodded. No wonder you say you hate pirates so much. Watching Zephyr look expectantly on his face, Lin An spoke again. Can you talk to me? I have some influence in New World, so maybe I can help you. Tell you. But he avoided Lin An's eyes. He will be unconscious in the sea and actually blow up an island. His real intention is to blow up New World too. Can you really talk about this matter with people from New World like you? I recalled it a little bit. Zephyr said, It goes like this. Since it is said that things cannot be said today. Zephyr then talked about his previous affairs. Actually, I used to be a Marine. Not to hide from you, I am actually the Marine Admiral of the previous generation, the Zephyr known as Black Arm. As soon as this sentence came out, everyone else around paused for a moment. Some even start covering themselves and even sneaking out. Zephyr is the killer of pirates. Especially those who cover themselves and sneak out. They were all persecuted by Zephyr, and even thrown into impelled down by Zephyr himself. Zephyr began to recall things from his past. He kills pirates for the justice of Marine. After the new 3 Admiral came to power, I lived a semi-retired life. In addition to practicing and training Marines, I usually hunt down pirates. Edward Weeble, you know. Hearing Zephyr's words, he nodded. In the name of Whitebeard, this person who insists on saying that he is Whitebeard's son is probably known to everyone in the New World. They even call themselves Whitebeard too. How could the Whitebeard Pirates not understand and investigate? I fell in love with this guy when he first debuted. After all, if I dare to do things under the name of Whitebeard, even if I am a newcomer, I will do it. However, this guy's strength is not weak. Although I said that I beat him half to death, I didn't catch him and let him slip away. I see. Lin An recalled Weible's reward order in his mind. It seems. The near-devastating scars and stitches on his face and neck must have been left by Zephyr. Did not expect. There is such an interesting thing. Lin An also had a curious look in his eyes, and then, it's a painful thing. Annoyance appeared on Zephyr's face. Why didn't I chase him down to death? Zephyr repents. But there is nothing to do. He led the trainees' boat on the sea. It was originally in a safe sea area, but Weible got the news from where and killed him directly. In order to protect the interns, Zephyr was unable to use his full strength, and was even cut off by Weible with a right arm. But even so, he only protected 2 people. Eventually, Weible retreated and fled again. And because he was immersed in the double pain of his disciples being killed and his right arm being chopped off, Zephyr fell into a coma directly. That's the way it is. Speaking of which, Zephyr touched his current mechanical arm. This is also the origin of my robotic arm. So that's how it is. Lin An nodded. There was also a look of admiration in his eyes. He could sense Zephyr's strength. The Whitebeard Pirates also understand Weible's strength. Strong. Very strong. It's just that there are some problems in the brain. However, just that kind of intensity is obviously not enough to hurt Zephyr. Now it makes sense if Zephyr explains it like this. If the things Zephyr said corresponded to each other through the information Lin An knew, it would make sense. Everything is true. Zephyr is not lying. But the time is wrong. These things were all 9 years ago or even longer. Definitely not why Zephyr is nearly drowning these days. If that's the case, you should really hate pirates. Ask for flowers. Looking at Zephyr, Lin An nodded seriously. Zephyr only told him that his disciple was killed by pirates, but he didn't tell him. But Lin An also learned about Zephyr's family through other channels, and even his 3-year-old son died at the hands of pirates. This is also the tragedy of Marine. While catching pirates, you will definitely be retaliated by pirates. However, looking at what you're wearing now, it doesn't look like Marines. Why doesn't it count? Zephyr picked up his Marine uniform with some pride. Marine is too conservative these days. So I brought some students and those who were willing to follow me to establish Neo Marine. This is the military uniform of our Neo Marine. Isn't it more handsome than their stupid Marine uniform? Talking. Zephyr also showed Lin An his Marine uniform back and forth with a smile on his face. How should I say this? Whether it's the Marine under the command of the world government and recognized by the world, or the military uniform of the Neo Marine led by Zephyr, he doesn't think it looks good. Of course, this is not something unimaginable. After all, it is a standard, and it is normal to be ordinary. Lin An hasn't finished speaking yet. The door of the dining room was opened. A man ran up to Lin An in a yellowish manner, holding a phone bug in his hand. Captain, Dad is looking for you. Broken. Exposed. First timing. Lin An knew he had been found. Whitebeard. Sure enough, Zephyr was outraged. The appearance of the phone bug, and the title of Captain, Daddy. The entire New World has one and only one fleet. The phone bug froze for a moment. Then came the iconic laugh. Gu la la la. I didn't expect it to be you, Zephyr. I thought you were dead. How could I die? Zephyr's eyes were red, and he was about to fall into a state of rampage. I haven't killed all the pirates in this world, how could I be willing to die?